Hey everybody, welcome. So I my guest is still not here, but I figured we had to get this thing rocking and rolling, right? And we'll see if he's just delayed. I did try calling him, got his voicemail, so maybe something's up. But welcome to the show. Sorry that we got a late start here, Kenneth. Nice to see you, and Mr. Wedding, as always, with us, along with all of the usual gentlemen who are here early, like number one Marvel fan Tom. So yeah, maybe we'll make this a community discussion tonight if something's happened to Michael and rebook him, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky and he's just delayed today. But yeah, if it comes down to it, I'll throw a throw an invite link into the chat, and anybody who wants to pop on here, we could talk for a little bit. Just to my lonesome tonight. Yes, I feel like a country western song is playing in the background right now. Ezra. And look at I wore my Funko F No shirt just for Michael today too, and he's not here. Doggone it, he'll show up. I promise. Yeah, no, no, yeah, that is true. So yeah, so what's going on in our hobby these days? I don't know. I saw some art drops going on. We've had some fun. I mean, we dropped a video earlier today. Mr. DeTulio had his seventh Collector's Cash episode with an interview with Stray Flexen. I only got to watch a really brief segment of it earlier today, but it's on my queue for tomorrow. So for those of you who missed it, add it to your list as well. Um, yeah, see, Carl knows what he was doing. He likes checking out his Triple X Bro, Mr. DeTulio as well. Yeah, but yeah, other than that, what do we got going on around here today? We've got just lots of fun stuff happening of late. Always lots of creative things going on around here. But yeah, howdy peeps, Alfredo Quintero, good to see you, man. It's been a while. I'm sure everybody out there has already picked up their OAX tickets, right? You're all ready to go. We're less than 6 months away. I'm sure you heard that we're going to be doing a what do we got, a pre-booking this Thursday with some folks. That's going to be fun. So you got to tune in to find out who and what they're offering. Did I do? I did not go in with Anthony on the Powerball. If he wins and I didn't go in, I might forever regret that. But no, I don't think. I don't think my parts of my family, Maureen side, have always been very into the opportunity, the chance. I like going to Vegas. Games of chance are always fun, but scratch offs and Powerballs have never been a successful venture for me. Slot machines, believe it or not, I actually do pretty good at those. I don't know why. It's that I got that thing going on. What is this? Guillermo Gazra. Yeah, I hear you. Stingray has booked his hotel and got his tickets. Oh, he has not gotten his flight yet, though. Well, flights are always cheap here to Orlando, Newell, so that's good. Um, did no bear visits, CJ. I do continue to look both ways, and I could give you guys a chicken update. I know everybody always wants to hear about that. We did get rid of the rooster. Rooster is no more. Not We didn't kill him. We didn't eat him or anything like that. We found somebody on Facebook who was willing to come by and pick him up. So we are rooster less, but now it turns out one of the other 8 is a rooster, because as soon as the one was removed, literally within 2 days, the comb on one of them, the one that was always kind of big but stunted in some weird way, the comb got red, and now that one crows in the morning at 6:30 a.m. every day. Hasn't figured it out yet, but he's now in charge of the coop. So there you go. My advice is you don't mail order chickens, because I was promised 8 hens and I ended up with 7 and 2 roosters. So yeah, that's like, and we let them roam around the backyard now. And where do they like to hang out the most the last 2 days? Right on my back porch. And they chickens do their duty a lot. And last night, because it's not well lit back there, I can tell you that in my bare feet, I stomped through a couple piles, and I'm not too happy about it. I'm trying to figure out how to put a little fence there on the back patio. We may have to screen it in, Kazra. No more company meetings on the back patio. But yes, First Coast Comic Con, now known as FC3, Alfredo. That is true. Where is Mr. Traylor? I've texted him, I've called him, I've emailed him, and have not gotten anything back from him as yet. I said duty. I really did. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Yeah, yeah, chickens are not the cleanest animals in the world, but what are you gonna do? They haven't laid an egg yet either. Every day I check. I'm waiting. As soon as we get the first egg, I'm gonna buy. They make these little rubber stamps. I'm gonna make some kind of a comic art fans, I guess Megacox stamp for those, and maybe I'll start mail ordering some eggs to everybody. I don't know if they'll make it to you, but it it's something to do. That ain't Yeah, that's right, CJ, it's not. Robert Berman was at Dragon Con, and apparently he had a very good time. See, maybe I could throw the link over to Robert. He could come in here and join me tonight and tell me all about his experience at Dragon Con and what kind of artworks he may or may not have picked up. We could have we could have an egg booth at OAX. That's a thought, Newell. That is definitely a thought. The next CAF trophy is an egg with a we'd have to work the Thor hammer on it or something, right? Um, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll figure out that. Yep, Stingray saw the AI vendor being kicked out of DragonCon. That was big news, just like it was during the Toronto Fan Expo the week before. It's nice to see the cons at least expressing their support properly for the legitimate creatives who are toiling out there in the industry. So OAX omelets. That's a good one. Maybe we can buy a food truck, Kazra, and start touring around Central Florida, handing out pamphlets and postcards about OAX and giving away free omelets. That's something to consider, I guess. I got to give Sting Engelhardt a ride. Oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome, Robert. There's a story in there. I would imagine. Oh man, where is my Michael trailer? Yeah, I don't know. It's not hitched up tonight. Guysville. Thank you, Marcus. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the name of the food truck, but you know, it's it's a good try. Omelet Station. Yeah, we can have that. I mean, that's the best thing, right? When you can go to a hotel that's got a breakfast bar and they have an omelet station. That's all you need. Uh, Frank Brockle. Yeah. Well, remember, well, that's true. I laid an egg in a meme once, right? That's true. And then Berkey came out of it. I have not come out of an egg yet myself. Maybe when next Easter we could do that. I did throw an egg once, I think, with dressed as Thor for one of the Easter shows. I don't really remember what that meme was about though. Ah, where to go from here? I don't know. I mean, I want to give him some time, but does if somebody would like to you know, pop in here and BS for a minute, I know that Tom, you've been offering up your props for sale. Maybe you're at the warehouse right now and you'd like to show off some props. And see, I mentioned his name and I get a pop right there from him. It's the first time this has happened to me. Maybe this isn't the first time. This is actually the second time this happened to me. The first person who did this, who was late, was Bob McLeod. He was out for about a half hour, and well, we're at the 12-minute mark. So Michael has not reached Bob McLeod status yet, but text. That's a good idea. I could do that. Chuck would be a good person to have pop on here. Jeff, when will Calf Pop Demon Hunter start filming? That's a good question. That is a very good question. Let's see here. Chuck Arnold. Where the heck is Chuck on my list here? Arnold. There he is. Messages with Chuck. Yeah. Here, I want to join the show through Tim. Yeah. But yeah, he would be easy. He could just give us another tour of his space and we could talk about John Byrne art and Frank Whiteley art for an hour. Well, he's been texted. I can tell you that. But what else is going on? Man, I had everything queued up too. I've got all this stuff ready for Michael. I'm looking at my slides. Bring Gwen around to talk about their art collection. The thing is, right now they're both playing video games together. They almost never do. And before I started the show tonight, I went in to say see you later to everybody, and they were actually busy playing a game. So I don't want to cut into Emma and Gwen's time playing whatever the heck they're playing and look like some Fortnite related shoot them up with comical characters on it. Is anyone else still waiting on their mystery sketch? Brent McDonald, you're still waiting on that, Brent? Shoot me an email. I thought we squared that away 3 weeks ago. So no, you are quite literally the only one who's had that issue, and I know that was with an artist who was outside the country. But yeah, shoot me an email, and we will address it accordingly. I should do commentary on Matt's show. That would be interesting, but I don't think that's no. I'd rather not pull up a show and like break it down every time spot to get that figured out. But yeah, Gwen or Emma would have been fun to bring on here, and even Ashton. I can probably get Ashton to come on here with his dinosaur costume. He's still he actually is in Pennsylvania right now. I think he's somewhere doing his dino shows. There are tariffs to contend with these days, Marcus. I can say, every single artwork that I've had to ship in the last 3 months that was outside the US, I've had the buyers practically demand that I put a $50 value or less on any of the artworks that ship to them because of the tariffs. So, and they state it right up. I've got to pay a 25% duty and an 18% tariff. And yeah, so even on a $600 page, they're like, mark it at $50 because I don't want to have to pay another. I mean, literally, if it's a $600 piece, they're almost spending another $200 just to get the piece through customs. So, yeah, it's not a fun situation for international buyers going both ways these days, I guess. Depending on where you live, right? If you play nice with us, I guess you get some sweeter deals. Stingray has some art coming in from Italy soon. That's good. Waiting to hear how. Yeah, well, that might be a 10-minute segment on a CAF update, no. But again, you're doing your own unboxing these days, so I guess you could do your own video on how the tariffs took a bite out of you. Did Bill scare the guest stars? No, the guest hasn't even made it to the show yet. That's the challenge right now. Mr. Traylor is missing in action at the moment, but we'll see. And Chuck has not. Well, Chuck has read my text, but he hasn't replied to it. We'll see. Oh, yeah, Alberto, you wanna come on? Why not, my friend? That'd be fun. You haven't been on the channel in a while. Yep, yep, yep. Let's see. If you're right about that, Robert. At some point, you might be able to fly to a foreign country and pick up your art for less money than it would cost to ship it to you. But you may get hit with something if they go through your bags and try to find some receipts and things. Oh, man, it's okay. Yeah. Alberto, come on. Is Alberto saying he's going to do it? I can't. I'm waiting for more. Oh, come on. See, Alberto's turning us down too. All right. Alberto's turning me down. What about you, Tom? You want to come on? Are you at your warehouse tonight where you've got all your props? You could show some things off. Alberto's eating spam. Yeah, that's a delicacy, in Hawaii. Yes, yes. No, they sell it at every street corner, as a matter of fact. Musabi, right? Yeah. Import 10K per person per trip for free as a tourist. That I'm not aware of, Robert, because I've never had a deal with that, so I've never looked into it. I guess I should have. Tom, get a quick shower, Tom, or whatever, or as Casper says, comb your hair. And they still sell. Yeah, they do. In Hawaii, you can pretty much get that anywhere. Every single street corner, every ABC. What is it? Is that the name of the little whatever small grocery stores they have at every corner? Yeah, I think it's ABC something or other. I used to have a bag when we went there last year. Maybe Marcus would like to join us tonight. Probably not. But my artist. Alberto, we pick your stuff all the time. All right, ABC store. See, I remember. It's been a year, but all right. Well, Alberto's little What do we got here? Nope, no emails from Mr. Traylor, nor texts, nor phone calls. Kahlua Pig. I don't even know what that is. Where do I go? I think if if Maureen were watching right now, she'd be angry about all the uhs and hmms I've been giving tonight. I'm usually not at this much of a loss for things to talk about, but I know Kazer's probably too busy. He doesn't want to join me. It's all right. I got ghosted. Dim the lights. Yeah, put on that. That would be one for the ages, and I can't do that. Only on special occasions, and tonight is not a special occasion. Would I consider doing something like that sometime, Casper, for everybody out there? Go show us the chickens. No, I mean I could go walk out right now and show you all the chicken poop on the back patio, but yeah, I had to turn on all the lights so I don't step on any by accident. I should stream into Tulio from the U.S. Open. No, it's a special occasion for him today. We're not going to interrupt his time at that event. I think the tickets are pretty expensive. He probably wouldn't want to. He's not going to break for us. I need a disco ball. Gosh. Yeah, I guess I could use one. And just so everybody knows, the Wolverine light up has finally burned out 100%. So it wasn't a fluke the other Thursday when it was flickering and stuff at the beginning of the show. It is 100% burned out. Got to change the bulb in it. Man, you guys. But beyond all that, yeah, you already gave the chick update, Alberta. You missed that earlier. It was it is what it is. We're down to 8. Tutulia needs to remind not to take cats from kids. I did express that to him today, Marcus. I did. We had a team meeting, and that's the only thing I asked him not to do. We don't want to be writing any corporate letters apologizing for our behaviors out there. Lava lamp, CJ. I used to have a lava lamp. Well, hey, at this point, I can't keep talking unless we can't get anybody to join us. Even I've even been I haven't been turned down by Chuck. Chuck just hasn't replied. So if none of you out there want to pop on for a little bit here and talk, we could just call this one a night and erase it from the channel permanently, so that we never have to see this one again. Oh, Newell's free. All right, Newell. I'll send you a link right now, and we'll get you in here. Let's see. Just have to grab the link from StreamYard and send it your way. Let's see. Invite. Got that. And Newell. There. All right. Email has been sent. Ken, if you were not at work, you would stand in. I appreciate that. And you're always welcome to come on here too. Kazer's inviting everybody. Doggone it, Kazer. Now everybody can join. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Okay. Nope, still no emails from Mr. Traylor. Stingray is a lifesaver. And I'm curious if he's bought any of those urinal shapes to use at home, or do I give out? Oh, here he is. We can ask him in person. Hey, Newell.
Hi, everybody. What are we asking me?
If you picked up any, if you went to Amazon and bought those Stingray urinal things just for fun, No,
I have not. No,
they might make ones that glow in the dark. Now, those might be interesting.
You know what? I thought about it, but I decided against it because I assumed that I'm going to get a bunch at OAX from my fans.
You may find out that they're in use in all the public restrooms when you get there.
I mean, you know what? I appreciate it when people are willing to go to spend money on a joke like that.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I wouldn't put it past pretty much anybody.
I'm sure that a certain CEO would be willing to whip out the company card for that.
Oh yeah. They weren't cheap either, but right. They were, but the cool thing would be is if you buy them one year and they're still there the following year. Now that's saying something. They have endurance. And just by the way,
Right.
there is somebody named Jeff in the studio right now, but their camera is not working. So if they get their camera working, I will bring them in to into the show too. But right now
Oh man.
it is off.
Yeah.
So what else? What's going on, Newell? You're not at the U.S. Open tonight.
No, I'm not. I don't even know where that is.
It's someplace in New York. I have no idea
Oh,
where.
okay. So that makes sense why Matt would be there to
Mm-hmm.
short trip. Okay. I don't do sports stuff, so I don't have any idea.
All right. Not in sports at all.
Nah, never have been.
Okay, well, nothing wrong with that. What's Dave Kopecky saying? We're all just pissing away my. No, we're not going to have urinal stingrays. All right, Dave. That's fine. You're just mad because they don't make them with the Kopecky brand on them.
No Kopecky piss pillows. Ooh, Kopecky piss pillows. We should make that a thing.
No, we should. I don't know about that. Oh man. Let's see. What do we got in the chat? Nope, no, Marcus. How did we know you'd go there? Yeah. Love the Hellboy hardcovers on the bookshelf behind Newell. Yeah, he does have quite the collection.
This is only one bookcase too. I have one this is the 6x6 foot one. I have another one in my bedroom, and then I have a 2x5 or whatever right here. So I have a lot of IKEA bookshelves.
Nothing wrong with that. But you have the nice tall ones. I have IKEA ones as well, and I've just never had the nerve to go higher than 3 1x1. Like
piles of books over here, and like I work on the pile system. I just got books everywhere.
Marcus does FC. No, they don't have. So far they haven't had. They only have like 6 guests go to most of their shows. The show I went to in Jacksonville in July, every guest was there. They had Jimmy and Amanda there. They had Greg Land. Pat Broderick was there.
What was FC3?
That was the First Coast Comic-Con. That's Michael Traylor, our guest today, is one of the owners of that.
Got it.
Yeah, he's been to OAX. You may have met him. He's a very, very outgoing, nice guy. And,
okay.
But yeah, he started FC3. I think they've got 2 shows under their belt, but I could be wrong.
So another fairly new show.
Yeah, fairly new, but they got like 2,000 people in July.
Oh, cool.
That's, hey, even at $10 a ticket or whatever it is, you get 2,000 people to show up for an event. I mean, that's not doing too bad.
Nice.
Robert Berman's putting together bookshelves at home.
I like that idea.
Yeah, exactly. He is on the OAX blacklist for next year now. Alberto, we would never do that.
Not publicly.
No. No, we don't do it. No, we don't maintain any private lists around here. I wouldn't. Okay. I don't think so.
No. If we don't like you, everybody knows.
That's right. Exactly. We bear it all here on the channel. No one cancels on me. He didn't cancel on me. For all we know, something happened. I mean, come on, he's not answering his phone, texts, or anything.
So speaking of the urinal cakes, have you seen Tyler's latest shenanigans?
Tyler's always full of shenanigans, but no, what is his current shtick?
He commissioned an artist to do a commission of a bunch of T-Rexes eating stingrays.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. She even tagged me.
Bob Layton, image of any kind in that drawing as well, or just T-Rexes?
No, but I kind of want to commission somebody to do that one, to have like a giant, scary, like Fu Manchu-esque Bob Layton chasing stingray with some giant chopsticks. I think that would be entertaining
for that.
If I could get Bob to draw himself into it and like really make himself look evil, that would be even better.
I would like to see him do a self-portrait. Kessler would know if he's ever done one before.
CJ's volunteering to do it. CJ, if Bob's not into it, Carl says
everybody wants it.
You know what? We should have a evil Bob Layton commission contest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I like that idea. We could everybody send in your best, Bob Layton eating a stingray, however you want to portray it, and we'll show them all off. We can do a poll in the chat to try to figure out which one deserves the whatever the distinction, the award would be for that, and yeah, that would be that's like its own little best of event, right?
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah, you would do a good job at that, Carl. Just throw your I don't know, your scarf
Reflective
on.
shades.
Yeah, and some shades, and then and then you're halfway there. But yeah, we could do something like that. Back in the day, I used to, we had a Saturday afternoon show called Superhost, where I always showed monster movies and things like that on a Saturday.
Oh,
So
really?
it started at 11, and he always had a back to back. So it was usually like an hour and a half and an hour and a half. So it was over by like 2 o'clock. But he dressed as like a Superman whose suit was really more like a Union suit, right? But
Mm,
with an S sewn on it. And he had a red clown nose, and but what you did there for as a kid, you could send in your drawings, and he would
okay.
hang them on the wall behind them. And so during like commercial breaks, when he would do his little shtick of what I can't remember what he just I don't know what I can't remember what the hell he talked about. They
Mm,
would periodically kind of pan through the kids'
mhm.
drawings, and so that was always the coolest thing, right? You get to see your drawing on TV,
That's
and
cool.
this is literally like 1976, 77.
Mhm.
So, as a little kid watching something on a black and white TV, and then you see your drawing go by. I mean, times have changed a lot, right? Now everybody's got their own TikTok and everything like that. But back in the day, that passed for you've reached like influencer status
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
your Ghidra the three-headed monster was shown on Superhost.
I love Ghidra.
Yeah, me too. There were many times as a youngster.
Hmm. I think what was it? Godzilla versus Ghidra was. I had a handful of Godzilla movies on VHS when I was a kid. That was definitely one of them.
Hmm. Oh yeah. No, that was the one they didn't show often enough.
Well, yeah,
Well, there were a couple of them, but yeah, that was the one you always wanted. But usually you got
well,
Moth.
yeah, that one was great because you got Ghidra, but you also got Rodan and Mothra. You
Yeah,
got all of them fighting. It was great.
yeah. Or Gadzuki would be there, and he was always just too. He was the comic relief. Poor
Well,
little
yeah,
guy.
blowing the smoke rings.
Exactly. Didn't work too well.
No.
Let's see. Did Alberta wants to know if we've watched Red Sonja? I can say no. What about you, Newell?
Mm-mm. Where is it? Is it in theaters or is it on streaming? Like, where can I watch it, Alberto?
I think it's in both right now. I think
Really?
it was in theaters for 2 weeks,
Oh,
and I
it,
know
it's
that you
starting to be
can.
done.
I know that's it's probably not a good sign, but yeah. Okay, Tom says it was not good. Hey, I mean, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? The trailers made it look okay, but trailers usually just look at I mean,
Yeah.
when a trailer only focuses in on like 2 seconds and 2 seconds and 2 seconds, that probably is I don't know, whatever, man. Hey, at least we got a Red Sonja movie in
Right.
2025.
It is not at my local theater. You know what it is though that I want to go see this weekend if I can. The
Tell me.
unrated Toxic Avenger.
Ah,
The
that
new
would
one
be
with Peter
interesting.
Dinklage. I'm excited.
That looks just pretty weird.
I
But
mean, have you seen the original?
yes, I
Yeah.
have.
That's,
So yeah, I mean, what's weird at that point? No, I get it, but yeah, with Dinklage in it, it probably would be a little.
well, yeah, Dinklage, Elijah Wood is in it, and I think Kevin Bacon is like the bad guy or something.
I didn't see that. I saw photos of Elijah Wood, and,
Mhm.
and he looked great.
Yeah.
He was spot on, perfect.
Yeah, no, that one looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, there you go. Marcus has got the quote for Red Sonja. It's the best Red Sonja movie of this century. Yeah.
Is it the only one thus far?
Uh, was it? Well, Red Sonja was in one of those Conan movies, right?
Was she?
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think so.
I don't remember. Like one of the more recent ones?
No, one of the older ones.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, Trauma's been yeah. I always love Trauma movies, but and I actually got to meet Lloyd Kaufman once.
Really?
I did. Yeah, he was. I had paid to do a signing with Stan Lee at San
Mhm.
Diego Comic-Con through Hero, so I made a decent sized donation, and it was on the docks behind San Diego on a boat.
On the docks.
And I know, of all places, right? It's hot. Yeah, that's exactly where an old guy wants to be hanging out with a bunch of sweaty goers. But
Mhm.
we were on the dock waiting to get on the boat, and who walks by but Lloyd Kaufman, and Stan knew him, and
Yeah.
they were hugging and high-fiving and shaking and haven't seen each other in a long time. And that was probably the most fun of the whole thing, because the signing that I got, it lasted like 10 seconds and a quick
Mhm.
photograph, and I was kicked off the boat. But
Yeah.
watching Stan and Kaufman, just yuck it up, and and that was worth it. Definitely worth it.
That seems awesome. Lloyd seems like a fun guy.
There you go. Thank you, Kopecky. I knew there was something out there. It was 86 Red Sony with Bridget
Yeah.
Nielsen. And gosh, I think I saw that when it came out, but I haven't seen it since 1986. So, uh, Marcus, nobody wants to see you in a screen used bikini. That is
No,
for sure. No,
and we definitely don't want to see him out of one.
no, gosh, no. He may, and with Marcus, he may be telling the truth about not, us not. No, Marcus, we want you on the channel just once. Just
Everybody wants Marcus on camera, but he refuses to do it. He's
yeah,
trying to maintain the mystery.
yeah. Well, you got to pay to go to San Diego to see him.
I
He
guess.
he did record a best of acceptance speech once for us. So we did get to play a brief segment. I think gosh, what was that, 3 or 4 years ago, Marcus? I can't remember, but it was probably 3 years ago.
Well, that's why I'm convinced that he's an AI. Like when you see him on camera like that, it's pre-recorded. It's all digital. It's all CGI.
Well, AI is making some incredible progress these days. I think you could probably put Marcus's photograph into AI and get him to say almost anything that you want.
Yep.
That
Well,
might that
I
might be
don't
kind of
remember
fun.
if it was Marcus himself or somebody else came up with the title Marcus WAI. I thought that was pretty good.
Nope, I had not heard that one.
Yeah.
Marcus is just a bot.
Well, I think he's a botnet, Dave, but
And that is true. Marcus has done a flip. That is true.
he has
And an
flip.
unboxing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his favorite artist unboxing.
He's practically a
Ellie
YouTube
Jones.
star in his own right, just on other people's channels.
Exactly. Just not live. You
Yeah.
can't get him live, and that's all right. That's all right. You could do another flip though, Marcus. It's been a while. Or an unboxing. Or a birthday event, right? We got that Lance sent in that a set of photographs and things from the last big birthday party. Anyway, so what else? Anything else, Newell? That's interesting in Stingray Land?
I mean, so I've got about 5 commissions outstanding right now, including the one that's coming from Italy, which that'll be fun. Just trying to read a lot of comics. I've got a whole pile of stuff that I've both read and another pile that's to be read, which is twice as big. I'm probably late some point this week. I'm going to do a video on a book that I read because it's that good, and I think everybody should read it. This one, Rome by Jesse Lonergan. That's just
I'm really interested. Not knowing anything about the story, I want to see it for the art. I love the panel breakdown concepts that he's been messing around with.
You can I can open to like any random page pretty much, and then just like look at that, just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of times you don't think about the artist putting in. You don't know what thought goes into panel layouts, right? And then I did that art drop with the Hitch Art and Kevin Nolan, and got to see like 100 pages of Brian's work. And I was commenting on the funny, like he had these weird inset things and stuff, but it didn't occur when I was looking at the artwork. I realized he actually drew like 3 sets of ruled lines on every board to give him the opportunity to inset panels in different layers, even if he didn't do it. So, because I started looking at them all, and I'm like, oh, he really had a method an approach to the whole book about how he wanted to lay out every page, or at least giving him the opportunity to mess around with those with concepts of changing the width of this of a panel row. And I don't know, I've never seen that. I mean,
Mhm.
on anything before. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then, but you look at Lonergan and he has a plan and a
But
method.
yeah, his everything feels so intentional, and like his page layouts and individual panel layouts, and like you see Carl's talking about he's read it multiple times now, discovering something new each time. Like he and I have talked about it a little bit, and just the way that Jesse kind of defies the traditional like flow of panels on a page, and
Mhm.
like he'll make you start reading from like the middle of the page and work your way up and over and back down, and that kind of thing. And it's like, right. Well, you know what they say, in order to break the rules, you have to understand them first. And I would say at this point, it feels like Jesse's pretty much mastered them.
Mhm.
So he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Well, I'm a huge fan of his work. I have a Ninja Turtle page that I got just before Carl decided to pull the trigger on it. We were both looking at the same page for probably about a couple months, and
Yeah.
it was they finally did a sale over at the Artist Bullpen, and I was like, "That's it, I'm buying it." And I got it just before he did. At least that's
Nice.
the way the story goes.
I don't own any original art from Jesse yet, but I would like to. And like there's like as soon as I finished reading Drome, I texted Carl. I was like, so how many of these Drome pages are we going to be competing for? But apparently Jesse's holding on to them for right now.
Oh,
Yeah, he's not selling any at the moment. So Carl and I are like fingers crossed, maybe a OAX special art drop.
that would be really cool. We
Yeah,
are, we're talking to lots of people about many different things, but every conversation is always about how can you do something unique, bring something
right.
new that hasn't been there. And yeah, I just had an email come back right before the show. I was going to forward it over to Kazra because I thought it was pretty cool, but I wasn't able to do it. So he's going to have to wait till we're done here. But yeah, but the thing is that, the artists get it. They're like, they want to kind of go along with it and see how we promote whatever unique thing they're doing or they're bringing. And same thing holds true for the dealers too. We're always reminding them to bring new stuff, hold stuff back. At least we try. I mean, we
Yeah.
really, it's a mantra. It's even, I mean, we say it all the time to them. So,
Yeah.
and then all of you guys coming to the show with your portfolios filled with treasures
Oh yeah.
that may or may not be available. Ulan is a special guest. Marcus, that would be very nice.
Is she going to get her own table this year?
She could and probably should, but she likes making the rounds when she's there.
I,
She's all
I bet if she did commissions at the show, she can make just as much money as Mannix.
Okay, I'll tell you what, she would probably sell more individual pieces.
Okay. Yeah.
Than Mannix. Maybe she won't make as much, but she will sell more than him. She might even sell more volume than Anthony Snyder. I mean, he's the king
Ooh,
of
wow.
volume.
Yeah.
Right?
That would be
So,
wild.
yeah. But of course, it'd be fun wouldn't that be fun to have Ulan's image up on the site as a guest? That'd be awesome.
Aw.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, shoot. See, I wasn't even aware of that, Kazra. Or maybe
Womp womp.
my oh, maybe I just zoned out. That's unfortunate. Well, that sucks. Oh well. Hey, but maybe he can be bringing some of Jesse's art that
Yeah, that's true.
hasn't been on the market yet. So yeah, we're always talking with Zach and Sam. I think it is Zach
That's
and Sam.
the Artist Bullpen guys.
Yep. Interesting.
Well, so what about you, Bill? Have you read anything good lately?
Have I read anything good? What was the last thing I read? Well, the one thing I read was the book that Marcus bought for me. But I did just finish 2 Dan Dare comic books.
Okay.
Drawn by Gibbons, and
Mhm.
I just love that. I mean, going through them, there's so. I mean, you want to say like they're poorly written because they're really kind of like written for teenage boys, young teenage boys, like 13, 14 years old, where, Dan Dare's fighting space vampires and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah. They're like the boys' adventures kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's like Cub Scouts in space, even though these are grown men,
Yeah,
and they're fighting and everything, crazy stuff that just shouldn't exist.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the last thing I read was two Dan Dare books, but they're great. I mean, I see them and I'm like, man, when you read stuff you like, that's back
Mhm.
to like it makes us want to buy a page. Like, how do I get a
Oh yeah.
page Dan Dare from Gibbons? I'm gonna have to go over and check out Brit Comics Art and see if Melchior has something stashed away that I don't know about.
Right. And the great thing about buying from him is you can just ask him to bring it to a show.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly. Joseph is like a mule. No
yeah.
matter where he goes, he's whatever he's packing his art that he's delivering. Usually, a few other overseas collectors that have deals to be made at that same
Yep.
place. I mean, he'll no Joseph. Joseph has an interesting business model. He could he's a courier.
Yeah.
That's what he is. And hey, why not? More power to him. And Kezra says he found out about Jesse just 20 minutes ago. Well, that sucks. Oh
Yeah.
well. Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, Jesse's somebody that we would always welcome to the show. So hopefully,
Yeah.
that'll change in 27 or later.
Yeah.
He would be awesome. He did so many fun sketches during Heroes. I never
You
got a
know,
chance to pop over
I
there.
didn't even realize he was at Heroes, and I totally missed him.
Well, they had him on, the one aisle. I tend to walk the center aisle more. And
Mhm.
he was on the aisle to, just further away from, towards the whatever you want to call it, consider the back wall on a
Mhm.
corner. And and it's true. I walked by him like twice where I knew he was there, and both times he had like 5 or 6 people in line. So I was like, I'm not gonna hang out and or wait in line. So I
Mhm.
never got to talk to him. But yeah, no, there were a lot of nice pieces that he drew there, and also there was some pre-done stuff that people picked up from him.
Yeah. 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 If he was going to be at OAX, I was probably going to have to book a commission with him. But
Well, now you've saved that money and you can spend it elsewhere.
because I'm sure there's nobody else I'll want to get a commission from at OAX.
Right. No, no. Well, we're definitely in OAX season now, so there's
Oh
lots of
yeah.
stuff. We've got 3 artists on Thursday, so
I'm excited to hear who.
we'll be announcing their pre-OAX opportunities. That's going to be good. And I was just emailing with them as well, and because I wasn't really clear, is it is it just the rep coming on? Is it the artist too? And they said that they hope all 4 of them will be on Thursday, and we'll start to go off with that segment as well. So that'll be good. And see, Carl has the same thing. We all do, right? When you read something you enjoy, you got to go out and buy smart. Carl, his GI Joe addiction is,
Mhm.
we get it.
Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Oh, the Transformer stuff. I'm sorry, it's not
Yeah,
GI.
yeah. Well, I mean, he gets some GI Joe too. He's got all that Tom Riley GI Joe stuff.
Oh, see, that's yeah.
All,
That is true.
all the stuff under the Energon universe umbrella.
You know Carl well.
Yeah, we talk a lot.
Well, there
I don't know. I have a thing for guys named Carl apparently.
Carl Joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I'm doing some kind of game night thing with Carl Choi on his YouTube channel tomorrow to promote one of their new 24/7 comics.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Do you know?
So they've got a new comic out called Heroes Be Damned, and they're doing a game based on that, which is I read the rules and it's basically like Ultimate Werewolf. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
Okay, what about Mafia?
I've heard, yes, of that.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be like that, where basically everybody has roles, and there's like a narrator, and people. It's like you have to guess. Like there's kind of teams, but nobody knows what team you're on, or one team knows who everybody on the team on, but everybody else has to guess and fight for themselves. And each night somebody dies, and then you have to try to guess who did it, and that kind of thing. It's a social deduction game, they call it. Should be kind of fun.
Cool.
I'm a big fan of playing werewolf, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah, Marcus is trying to figure out if you're friends with all of these other Carls, but
Carl Weathers has passed away.
yeah, you
I
can't do
think
that.
Carl Malden might have too.
Carl's Jr.
I am definitely well acquainted with Carl's Jr. when I'm on the West Coast.
I
They
have
call them Hardee's
never
here.
been.
They call them Hardee's here.
Hardee's
Mm-hmm.
kind of has the same sort of logo-y vibe sort of thing.
Well, it's the same
right?
company. It's just
Oh,
it's
is
literally a geographical thing.
Oh, nope,
Yeah.
didn't know that. So do you have one of these Funko shirts? The Jerry
No.
Bourne specials?
I do
Okay.
not.
See? It's got Funko.
I remember seeing a couple of them. I didn't get one though.
Well, you got to hit him early. Jerry Bourne. I'll introduce you to him at OAX.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I never ended up getting one of the OAX shirts at OAX this year because I'm apparently dumb.
Well, just email me your size. I'll send you one. How's that?
Oh, okay. Easy peasy.
We'll take care of that.
Sweet.
#1 Marvel fan wore his at Heroes. So yeah, that's right. I remember that. Hey, it's a great slogan. I love walking by Funko stands with this thing on.
CJ, I don't know who that one is.
That's because it's a sports reference from the 70s. Carl Yastrzemski.
Over the head.
Yeah, Boston baseball player.
Wow.
See, I used to watch a lot of baseball. As a youngster, that was the only sport that I could play, because anything else I would have gotten hurt at, as scrawny as I was. And I wasn't a very good baseball player either, but I collected baseball cards. So
Gotcha.
Man, Bo Sox. See, Rich Danny's even knows his baseball. Carl Jung, he's long gone, but he wrote a lot of good books.
I read some Jung.
Yep. What was his? Yeah, it's been a long time since I read Jung.
I can't think of the name of it, but it's all the stuff about dreams and the unconscious.
Yes, the unconscious. Yeah, it's a weird mind f. At the end of the day, as you read it, you're like, oh my god, I think he was right.
Yeah.
Marcus is just Googling all the Carls just to see who.
Carl Sagan's a good one.
Oh shoot. What else we got out there, man? I don't know. And so it was Jeff Wedding that was trying to join. He had, so he couldn't get his camera to work with StreamYard because it was occupied by his Zoom program. Dave Kopecki. No, we were selling them, Dave. We had them at the counter.
Yeah, like at the info booth up front, and I didn't know that until somehow I missed it.
We might not have had them. Like early on at the beginning, like maybe on the first day of Friday, we might not have had like a sign or anything up. I mean, I feel like we did, but we probably didn't. I know by Saturday and Sunday it was up there, but
and there's the poster that everybody was signing to. I walked past it multiple times and never noticed that there were signatures on it and that people were stopping to do that. So I didn't do that either. I was just so awestruck by how cool everything was that I missed a few details here and there,
Well, I can't bring mine back to. Well, no. The thing is, you know what? I can bring mine back to OAX 2026. So, but I have the 2024 one framed right in front of me, so I can look at it every day. And it's kind of funny. I'd say at least every other day I find a new name on there. That I'm like, I saw Maureen's name on there. I had no idea that she even signed it.
Nice.
Just put a little heart next to her name. So, but yeah, that's like, and Josh Nathanson, he signed it right next to the Comic Link logo. I can't miss it because it's like right at my eye level. I have to look at Josh Nathanson's signature every single day. But then
Carl IOAX, but apparently only at half capacity. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that was your first OAX.
Yes.
So, yeah, you kind of got to get the lay of the land.
But you know what? I ate a ton of zingers. How many zingers did you eat, Bill?
None.
Right.
I didn't eat one. I didn't even know I still don't know what a zinger is. So
it's literally just a chicken tender. That's what they call them at Miller's.
Okay.
But you can get them with different seasonings or sauces.
All right.
There's a lot of
my daughter loves chicken tenders. So
well, there you go. Yeah. Like if you show up late to Miller's and everybody's already there and you don't know what you want, you're just like, you know what, bring me some zingers. Because they were coming fast and furious,
Well, when you're drinking, I mean, something spicy or salty, whatever. That's all you need, and so they got it made. Carl's making confessions in the chat. He says that his confession from last year is he never made it over to the gallery.
I almost didn't make it, but I made sure that on Sunday that I got over there, and I was really glad I did because I got to see the couple of Frazettas in person, which is just really, really. I'd never seen one before in person, so that was really cool. All the stuff that Marcus Rohrwild had brought, that was really, really cool. And it just so happened that when I wandered over there, they were doing an event where people were interviewing Big Phil on camera. Him. I think Sanford and Kazra were all there talking on camera.
Yeah, I missed that too. That was yeah.
I didn't know it was happening. I just happened to show up at the right time, so I got to watch some of that. So
Tricky Trapster is impressed.
Yes, that is me. I don't know who you are, Tricky Trapster, but I'm glad that you are aware of my my status. Thank you for noticing me, senpai.
But yes, I think I was busy doing accounting work in the green room, pounding espressos because they were free. And
every time I saw you, you looked very harrowed, and I felt bad.
Sunday was a bit of a blur, unfortunately, but I did have a little bit more fun on Saturday, for the show. But yeah, Sundays, that's kind of like you're winding down. You got a lot of little ticky stuff to do.
Oh, yeah.
But I did drink. I made use of that espresso machine that was in there because I think I had like 4 or 5 of them. But I remember that moment. It was like everybody was walking out of there crying, and I'm sitting there. The green room's right there, so I'm watching all these people, rubbing their eyes, and I'm like, man, what did I miss? And so yeah. I regret not being there for that. That would have been pretty special.
It was pretty cool. Tricky Trapster, is your name Tricky Trapster on CAF?
You have to look under the T's. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Those the zingers are probably not the same, Derek. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I can let everybody know because I see Derek. I know he's a fan of. Michael Traylor has appeared in the green room.
Oh,
Newell, your
can
time
leave
here can come to an end.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
No, thank you for hanging out with me, man. Oh, he really did just drop himself out, Mr. Traylor.
Hello.
Hey, man. Are you? Is everything okay? Are you all right?
I'm good.
Okay. Well,
I had some personal things that
well, do you want? We can always postpone this, man. I mean, it's
no, absolutely. We're good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right, perfect. I can hear you as well. No, you're good, my friend.
All right. Well, we can. Again, I've got actually have a few other openings later in the month. I'm totally cool with because we usually go for a couple hours. Yeah, but we can.
I'm good. Okay. Let's do it.
All right, man. All right. We're gonna deliver. What's your shirt say? Deliver awe.
Deliver awe. Yeah, it's a tagline for my company that I work for. So one of our values. So I try to not only deliver awe on my day to day, but
you're gonna deliver some awe this evening too.
Hopefully so.
We're both wearing gray though. I don't have a gray hat to put on.
Very monochromatic. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we can get this thing started. I see that you are a sports fan too, because clearly you have some sports memorabilia behind you. So you don't just collect comic art; you collect more than just comic art.
I dabble in little things,
Yeah.
I'm definitely a college football fan, Georgia fan. Go Dogs! Very excited that football season's back. And but yeah, my other passion is comics and comic art.
So it's so it's just those. You don't branch out from there in any way, right? Or are there other?
Well, I'm gonna. Star Wars is another passion, but I've kind of over the years not steered away, but just for sheer space, and just collecting sideshow and hot toys and such. It's just you only have so much space, right? So I was a big 3 3/4 inch collector for years. And then after having kids, I had closets full of stuff. I'm like, wow, I'm not even enjoying this stuff just sitting in closets. So I liquidated several years ago and just kind of condensed everything and focus on things that I can enjoy, I can look at and take in on a daily basis. So my office here, you can't really see, but on the preview, I have hot toys and helmets and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Well, I tried to get into collecting statues, but it was sideshow was always tough, right? You pre-order things,
Yeah.
and sometimes they might be 3 months down, as far as getting them, and sometimes it could be a year, right?
It's
And
a
then
slippery
I bought like
slope.
3 or 4 of them, and then I got to that point where I was like, well, okay, now I don't know what to do with them. Like they ended up sitting in a closet, 1 or 2 of them, and you always got to keep the
Like,
boxes in perfect shape because if you want to resell them, and yeah, it was tough.
exactly.
You need a
It's
museum.
I've got an attic full of just empty sideshow boxes. And I dabbled in like the Gentle Giant stuff as well early on. And yeah, so you just got to keep all that stuff, and it just space becomes an issue, right?
Yeah.
So
Nope. That's why we all go back, art and flat files. And you get your house back, you get your office back.
that is one of the benefits, one of the perks that my wife likes. She's like, oh, you collect all this and you have it like a 8-inch stack, so
There's
versus
nothing. Yeah, no, I get it. It was wonderful because even with comics, the long boxes,
Mhm.
I really didn't buy a lot of comics after 98 or so, but I had to keep moving around like 9 or 10 long boxes every time I would move from an apartment, or if, when we bought our first house, next house.
Yep.
It sucked. And where to
Yeah,
put them?
I steadily had, say, 15 short boxes of kind of
Mhm.
my top tier PC books, but I I ramped that up quite a bit over the past several years because I'll set up at shows. Some friends of mine were like, "Why don't you set up at shows and we'll sell some books and stuff and just hang out?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that." So fast forward today, I've got a garage full of just books that I'll pick up and sell and deal and trade and whatever, and a lot of it I'm turning into original art just from sheer space. So it's kind of fun the hobby,
That's
um
That's a common story. I did see, because I was in your CAF gallery before the
mhm.
show, and you did link up your eBay ID. So I went over to your
Yes,
eBay store, and yes, you have a fair amount of comics and
yes.
that sort of thing up there. Why not, right? And you're very confident in your grading. I could never grade a comic. I suck at it. I saw that you
I
pretty much you have your unslabbed books, and the near mints versus the VFs, yeah, I got yelled at
yeah,
once on eBay when I tried selling a book, saying it was one thing, and they're like, "You don't know what a VG
it
is."
it's so
I don't
difficult because
I've
it's so
never given it.
subjective, and and I being my background is graphic designer, working in paper, and like cleaning and pressing books, which is kind of like just a natural transition, whenever that started becoming a thing. So I would do paper mock-ups and folds, and so working with that paper was just second nature. So
Right.
yeah, I've dabbled in that and get stuff graded, and yeah, it's just kind of evolved over the years. So yep.
Many a comic book collector has migrated over to comic art and gotten, and liquidated their comic books for art, right? I mean, it just is what it
Yeah,
is. Especially
yeah,
as we get, again, it's back to that moving, comics just take up too much space. And that's why
it does.
and with the with trades and everything, it's so much easier to buy a trade and have
Yeah,
1 foot of space used up on my bookshelf that used to take a short box to fill. So yeah.
totally, totally. And yeah, and into just I don't know, it's just the 101 aspect of art is kind of intriguing. I mentioned to you before, I dipped my toe in it, collecting original art a little over a year ago. Started off with getting blanks, commissions on blanks done and stuff like that, and and it was fine. It was you kind of hit or miss, really. Like I don't know. I'm a creative director in my day job, so I I kind of have that visual in mind. So if I go to ask you know, I found that I was asking for a commission if I didn't give specific details. Sometimes the final product would come up short of my expectations of what I saw in my head, because my mind's eye is just so like vivid and like, you know, and it's like, that's cool, but it's not quite what I wanted. But you know, that's just a
Oh, I get it.
subjective
It's like when,
creative
yeah.
director in me. It's like, you know, so
Uh-huh.
I would do a little bit of that, and then here again, you know, it would just go in a box, right? You know, I didn't really display it. I'm like, okay, I'm not really getting the enjoyment that I want out of it. And then fast forward to Heroes Con 2024, and I was really intrigued by Steve Mannion's work. I saw a lot of his Fearless Dawn covers that he was doing, specifically the pencil sketch covers.
Mhm.
I was like, I really like this artwork, you know, and I saw that he was going to be at Heroes. I was like, I've never been to Heroes. So myself and a friend of mine was like, well, let's go, right? So I made a short list of artists that I wasn't familiar with, but I was like intrigued by their art. I wanted to meet them in person, and that kind of started me off. I went and met Steve and bought a couple pieces and bought a small folio and put pages in. I'm like, seems a little light, you know, like
Yeah,
not
no.
complete. So
Yeah. That
yeah,
is true
so
though.
that
Once you get started, you know, because as comic collectors, you know, even when I was younger, even probably, I don't know, you know, it's always cool to kind of like spread the comics out, right? And you're like, wow,
yeah.
I have a collection. There's, you know, and when I was, you know, really young, you know, you spread it all out, take photographs of it, like, you know, put my
Hmm.
Slurpee cups beside them, and it's like, man, I got something of, it's a substantive collection. But when you go to a show and you buy your first couple pieces, like you just
Hmm.
said, 5 pieces in 5 artworks in a 36 sleeve Itoya feels
Yeah,
very light. And you're like,
it
yeah,
does.
you're like,
It does.
how do you get caught up so you can feel complete?
And I'd go in, you know, I'd flip and just kind of, because, you know, I hear a lot of the interviews on the show is to people say, you know, they go back and look, and they every time they look at a piece, they find something new, some little nuance about how it was crafted, and just, you know, just discover something new. So I found myself going back, and was like disappointed where I got to the blank pages. And I was like, I want to see more.
Right.
So that put me on the path. And then
Well, you started your CAF gallery the month after that Heroes, because July
I did.
2024. Yeah.
I did. So
Were you
over the
happy with
year,
those pieces though that you got at Heroes? You know, you had
yeah,
some targets with some artists, and
yeah,
Mannion's fantastic. I mean, I've known
yeah.
Steve for a long
He's
time.
a sweet guy.
He's so right, and he's so talented. You
Hmm.
know, he works his butt off. You know, but he's yeah, he's just one of those guys who's anything he draws, I love. His style is
Yeah,
just so
yeah,
slick.
yeah. And I found that with his stuff, you know, I'm kind of the way I'm going about approaching his artwork and searching it out is like I'm trying to find different techniques that he's implemented into the piece, like whether
Hmm.
it's a pencil sketch, his inking, you know, his watercolors are phenomenal. Um, and then focus on different scales and stuff. So just as things come about, I've missed so many pieces on eBay that I can't even count in two hands. Just like things, his stuff gets scooped up so quickly, and it's a fight anytime he posts anything on his eBay store. So I've looked out once or twice, but yeah, his stuff is very popular.
No, deservedly so. I mean,
Yeah.
he was a hero this year too. I didn't get over to his
Mm-hmm.
table, but I ran into
Yep.
him in the hallway. But yeah, no, always a good guy. And but you know, that's like you were saying, you know, when I first started, I was getting mostly convention sketches and some small commissions and stuff. And you're right. I mean, you know, it can be hit or miss, you know, and I think a lot
Yeah.
of collectors that get started in the hobby, you know, if they have too many misses at the start, it kind of turns them off, you know, from
Mm-hmm.
sticking with it. But I know it's
Yeah.
easy though, right? I mean,
It
you know, or
is. It
you make
is.
one bad purchase where you overpay, and the next commission comes back and you don't really like it. It didn't meet what your expectations were. Because I went to art school too. I mean, I think, you know, we
Yeah,
talked about this a lot. Most people who are art collectors are creatives in some way. I mean,
for sure.
it's rare rare to meet somebody like Alberto who's just an Apple nerd and all that. But maybe we find out he used to play guitar when he was a prodigy when he was 6 years old. We don't know, but you know what I mean. It's like
Exactly.
it really is true that, like, you know, their mom and dads were musicians, so they grew up in a creative. That is like the single thing that kind of ties us all together, and I think it's the first thing that draws us to the art. So we have a critical eye to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so heroes. So I've been collecting for a little over a year now, just specifically art pieces, right? Like I said before, I dabbled in commissions and whatnot. And then you had mentioned my profile. I am co-promoter, co-founder of First Coast Comic Con here in Jacksonville. And so Heroes 2024 was a couple weeks before our first show where we actually had published artists attend our show.
All right.
So we had Greg Land and Ali Garza at that show in 2024. And I don't know, I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to approach it as far as having some kind of a keepsake or a memorable sketch or something like that, that maybe I wanted to, thank you, Stingray, that maybe I wanted to just keep as a, you know, not a
something from that first show, right? I mean,
yeah, just something
you got
special,
a lot of
right?
postcards and boxes and things you didn't get to give away, but those don't have a lot of sentiment.
Yeah, no, and I didn't have the forethought to do like a sketchbook or something small, so I had to go big. So I had I walked over, I had like a brief minute of clarity and not running around like a crazy person. And Greg Land had he always has his stack of pages at his table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just started going through that, right? And he had actually, you have this piece. I don't know if you want to talk through that one, but the Venom number one. So he had this Venom page, and it just caught my eye. Right, I'm flipping through dozens of pages, and this book had just came out, so I was aware of what it was, and it's also related to the Spider-Verse game, right? So it's the first appearance of the Spider-Verse Venom in the 616. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. The inks were really, you know, the contrast with the inks was great. I was just like, man, this is just a bold image. And it's like, I think I want to get this. And he had it priced. It was a splash page at the time, and he had it priced accordingly, right? But it was far from what I was expecting to buy in at. But my wife was like, listen, it's a memory piece for the show, so just, you know, do it, right? So I was like, all right, thanks. So I bought this and one other piece. I think I may have sent it to you, but anyway, fast forward a month later, it ended up being a cover. I was like, oh, this is even, so that really got me. I'm like,
this stuff never happens to me. So it was a splash page, and then they make it into a cover. You know, next thing you know, it'll be whatever, another variant, or it'll be on the cover of the trade, and it'll have been published 3 or 4 times. And yeah, that is yet to happen to me, Michael. So your first published purchase.
Oh, I was hooked. I was like, oh man, this is all just the kind of I don't know, the excitement it gave. I was just like, this is awesome. So yeah, it got me on a trajectory where I was like, okay, I'm digging in deep here. So yeah, I found this piece, and then I was like, okay, if I'm going to collect, what kind of collector am I going to be, right? What kind of focus? Because if with the costs associated with buying this art, I'm just like, I've got to put some kind of parameters around the spend, you know, the investment. So I found that that's easier said than done.
Right.
There's just so much cool stuff out
there's
there.
Still space in that first portfolio, right? At that
there is. So this didn't add to the little 9x12 folio. I had to buy 11x17.
Okay, you had to step up your game.
So I had more pages to fill. So
Now you've got two portfolios that are 95% empty, and yeah,
Yeah, I'm like,
it's a
man,
challenge.
I got some work to do. I got some work to do.
Hmm.
So not only did I find that I needed to put some structure on it and really kind of discover what kind of collector I am, um, I found that I have a little bit of OCD to a point that I'm like, okay, I like this page, but I feel like I need more context around what's happening in the page, right?
Hmm.
Because you don't have the word bubbles, you have Noel flying in the background. Okay, what's taking place here? So I knew that Greg had the sequential pages to this. So post show, I reached out and I was like, "Hey, could I have, the next, either the one before or two after?" I was almost tempted. This was kind of like a little anthology story within the book. I was almost, luckily he didn't have all the pages in that anthology story.
Hmm.
So I'm like, no, I don't need to buy all of them but I did buy the bookend pages to this page to help as you flip you can kind of tell what's happening without the word bubbles.
Yeah.
So that has become a thing to where if I do buy a page that I really like, I've got to see if I can find either the page before or the page after, right? Just specifically if it's doesn't really kind of give a narrative, right?
Hmm.
Trying to remember what pages it was I sent. What did we have at page 2? What was page 2 that I sent you? Was it the
Let's see. It was a Greg Land page.
Spider-Man? Okay, for instance, this page, right? So it's a battle between Blade and Spider-Man. So with the sequential storytelling here, you can kind of see punch per punch who gets what, and then Spider-Man ultimately lands the good punch at the end, right? So I wasn't as compelled to be like, oh, what happens after this, right? So I didn't go in search of, but I picked this piece up, primarily because you have Blade versus Spider-Man. I mean, it's an awesome battle, right?
Heck yeah. No, it's a
So
great page.
yeah.
I like Greg's work a lot. He's a great draftsman. His figure work's awesome. And like with the previous piece, just the way he handles the backgrounds. I mean, it's very realistic and soft, and then he puts in really sharp and detailed inks on the figure.
Uh-huh.
Just a nice contrast. When when you look at it, it's overall it's a beautiful piece of art. And those are the best pages to get when you really look at it and you connect with it and you see a lot of the choices the artist makes, right? And how they want to lay that page out and the techniques they want to use on it. So, but yeah, Greg was at the first OAX and I got to go through a lot of stuff. I've seen him at MegaCon. I saw him at your show in July as well. So no, he's a good guest. Good guy to have on the floor. He's really good with the fans.
Easygoing, super nice guy. His wife Trish is a gem. I mean, she's awesome. So they're definitely a duo that work well together and travel well together, and it's just a great experience working with them. So, but I will say I didn't go in search of the sequential page to this action scene immediately, but this past July they were at the show again, and he did have the sequential page after this, and I was like, well, I guess I'll get it now. So yeah, I scratched that itch. It wasn't like eating at me too bad, but
well, that's
I'm
tough.
happy to
You
say
always got to rearrange your portfolio. If you're finding like the previous or the next page, if you're trying to keep them together, you're moving stuff around. But that's probably not a bad thing. It makes you look at everything you have. And I usually get frustrated when I have to I'm like, oh, son of a gun, that one in the middle, this has to go beside that one, and now I've got to shuffle stuff.
Can I be honest about something?
Please.
I was shuffling pages. That's why I was late to jump on there. I'm sorry.
That's not true. You shuffling.
Honest to God. I had two pages.
Casper sent me your phone number. I called and you didn't answer.
Because I was flipping through pages.
Man, you see, you were in the euphoric early
I
stages.
am not lying.
We might need to have an intervention tonight.
Let me see.
All right, I gotta drop the yard out here. You got to show me what you were working so hard at that you were 45 minutes late.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let me see. I had a package land today, so this is
Oh,
a
so you were doing an
Netho
unboxing and
Diaz page that he just
oh, really nice.
yeah. So here again, kind of a sequential transmorph page.
So you had to rearrange that portfolio, huh?
I did. So this particular
Ah.
character, I think she's deemed Amelia now. I have I'm sorry, completely going off script here what I sent you, but so I have her first appearance page.
Oh,
And then she shapeshifts from she was an amphibian to an avian into a reptilian. So I've been collecting her for different phases of her mutation. It's a new character. I was just like, why not? So
well, that portfolio looked full. So
it is. It is. It's
mission accomplished.
This is one of two. So it's well on my way.
Hey, yeah.
I mean,
no, I mean yeah. I've got a whole, I've got plenty of art laying around here from it's the thing is when you've been doing it for 25 years, everybody kind of forgets how much they really, you have. So you're really just getting started on the journey.
I am. I've really used CAF as a resource, only being in the hobby for a year, just trying to learn the nomenclature, what's what, what are titles for things, what are different processes for art being produced, how to look for, digital blue lines with inks, what is it I'm actually buying, right? And figuring out how to ask the right questions, and be informed, so I'm not, getting bit. So far, just the diligence has paid off. So
yeah, it's a different age of collecting now than it was even 10 years ago. You do always you have to ask about blue lines. You have to ask about well, it goes beyond that now. Artists they use a lot of different shortcuts in their work. I mean, some artists will lay stuff out digitally and even lay out the like the heavy blacks and then print that on board, and then the black they don't even ink because they're actually using that as a filler, and then so then they're inking all the details around it, but part of it is actually printer ink on the page. And what are you going to do? I mean, it is the only piece. I mean, if the artist really wanted to, I guess they could go in and fill it with regular ink, but that's their process. They're trying to save themselves time and and be able to make a little bit more art. And so I mean, I know of a artist, I won't say who because I think they're going to be making a couple announcements in the next few weeks, but an artist who's worked digitally for a long time is finally going to go back and start doing partial traditional stuff, like probably all the splashes and the covers and things. And they're asking about how to how can they promote those things through CAF, and I'm like, hey, here's the things we can do for you. But it's just interesting. I mean, they maybe they can work faster, but doing that, but they're missing out on some paydays.
They're leaving money on the table. I mean, it's some of these pieces that are legacy pieces for later on down the road. Yeah. Speaking
monoprints too.
Yeah, and I was just trying to figure out to that point, like I'm really drawn to really tight pencils, and you will see that in a lot of the work that I have on my exactly. I came across this Netho. I hope I'm saying that right. Netho Diaz. Yep. I came across this. This is the first splash page I bought. I was just like, oh my gosh, just the amount of characters. Some of my favorite. I really collect heavily with the X-Men and Spider-Man stuff. But I will, if there's something that really speaks to me, I'll deviate. But I really go in search of Spider-Man and X-Men.
Well, it's the more expensive characters to go after, Michael. You're gonna have to sell more comics to keep up with that.
I've got expensive taste.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think
You
we
know,
all do. I know.
hey, right, but that's just part of the fun. I mean, it means
Yeah,
that you've got competition for most pages you're going to want to get, and that's okay. You'll probably make more friends in the hobby because those are the things you collect, or you might see them as competitors. But at the end of the
yeah,
day, you're going to meet a lot more people because that's at least on the Marvel side of things.
sure.
Those are the two main goals, I
I'm a
think.
Marvel guy. And to your point, just the costs associated is like, yeah, I'd love to go get a Burn X-Men or some of the more the classic pages, but
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure I'm to that level yet. I have a spending threshold that I'm comfortable with that I kind of stick in, and if I can find something that really gets me jazzed at a certain price point, I'm all in. But I don't know. That's not to say that I won't come across something later and be
Right. I mean, sometimes you see a piece that you just have to have,
uh-huh.
and I yeah, I'm not a big player either, but like there was a Bill Sienkiewicz page from Moon Knight or Marvel Premiere not too long
Hmm.
ago that I saw, and I was gonna wimp out and not buy it, and Kazra he was like, it was an auction, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, but it was that one that I really wanted, something I
Uh-huh.
remember the story, I remember the woman's butt on it. I mean, all this
Yeah.
stuff was great about the piece, and he was right. I don't, and I don't regret it. But spending, I don't even remember what it was, like $4,600 or something around there. It was more
Sure.
than I wanted to spend on it, but it's like the moment I saw it, I was like, I always liked that page. In my mind, I
Yeah.
probably was telling myself for the last 20 years, if I ever saw that page, I would buy it, and there it
Yep.
was. Yeah. So yeah, it's
So,
sometimes it's good, but it's good to have at least some limits on things so you don't go
sure.
crazy. 'Cause there are, I mean, we've all met collectors in the last well, just any time in our collecting hobby where they really burn fast, spend a lot of
Hmm.
money, and say their first 18 to 24 months in the hobby, and they get burned out. And
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of collectors do that and then just kind of cash out, and then you never
Just
hear
not
from them.
sustainable. Yeah.
No, it's not. And what do you do when you buy like some of the best pieces? It's like where do you go when you have your best example for a particular artist on a title that you want?
You can't build that to
Yeah.
that. You've already crescendoed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'm still a collector, right? So
Right, right.
I still want to scratch that itch. So, that's not to say that I won't, save up for, let's say, OAX, right? So over the next 6 months, where are we at? 5 months now?
And it's like five and a
Um,
half. It's yeah. We
I'll be,
cross that
be
threshold. It's scary, but I'm glad to hear that though.
but I'll grab little odds and ends here and there if the price is right, and
Hmm.
it speaks to me, and just to be a collector, so see what I can find in at OAX 2026. So
Yeah. So
um
we didn't talk a lot about your show. I mean, you mentioned it and
mhm,
everything. What was the inspiration or reason behind even starting a show? I mean, you're a professional graphic designer and
mhm,
and a collector, so you already have a busy life.
right,
But why throw
kids.
a show in? Because trust me, we know here what it's like to run a show. So why
Sure.
did you decide to do that?
So I've been collecting since, gosh, since seventh grade. So we're going on almost 35
Hmm.
years, right? Um, got back into the hobby several years ago, and really didn't have any. I was just collecting, and I met some local guys, and they were like, let's go to this show. I'd maybe go to MegaCon or something like that, but didn't really hit a lot of local regional shows. And they were like, come. We'd stumble across each other hunting and stuff like that, and just hit it off.
Hmm.
And they're like, well, I set up at the show over here, in Daytona or wherever, right? So I'd go. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I didn't know there was smaller shows that you have a much more intimate experience hunting and without all the rigmarole that comes
Sure.
along with one of the bigger conventions. So did that, and my partner and I had a mutual acquaintance that was running a small, hotel conference room show here in Jacksonville, and for a few years, and he ended up having to move. Right, he didn't want to die on the vine, so he's like, "You two guys, my partner Denny, I really think you two could take this and do something with it. I've got a marketing and advertising background. Denny has a media background, and a shared passion for comics. And we were just like, Jacksonville needs something. It's such a large metro area, and for the region not to have a flagship show that people could attend and have an intimate. I keep using that word intimate because that's what it is. It's a smaller footprint of a show, but we're trying to bring an artist and other creators to the show that people that maybe they don't have the means to go to MegaCon, right? I mean, that's an expensive buy-in to go to that show, right? And then you're battling the masses, just to get that 2 minutes of FaceTime with a creator that you may be able to get 10 words in before you're being, all right, move along.
Yeah.
So
I vowed not to go back.
yeah. So that was one of the drivers. I was like, I think we could do this. And, I think it's something the community would really like. So we went all in. We started off as 1 year at the hotel, and we're like, nah, we can go bigger than this. So we went searching for a bigger venue, started putting feelers out for artists that would be willing to come to Jacksonville, and just really trying to do some grassroots marketing and push to build awareness for First Coast Comic Con. It's moved fast, but it's been an awesome experience. Just being, we know so many people in the community in Northeast Florida that they just like, this is what we've been wanting. Please keep it up. Don't change anything, other than bring this person in. Can you get this artist?
Everybody's got ideas, but
yeah.
Please
make sure parking stays free.
They wouldn't say it if they didn't care, Michael.
Exactly. So, and then, aside from that, we really want to focus on too, since it is a community event, focus on just kind of not just comic collecting, but also like the literacy part of reading, right? Of what comics driving that urge to read with kids. So we partner with the city of Jacksonville to help promote the literacy programs in Duval. And this year, 2026, we're really wanting to also introduce an art craft component to the show. So we're working on building something like that out. Well, I don't know if that's in the form of art classes or demos, or I'm not sure what that's going to look like just yet. But maybe bring in some art schools or something like that. I'm not sure what it looks like yet. Still put some structure around that.
Well, that's cool. Got to make the most of it while you can. And comics, many people we interview on here, mention comics are how they learn to read. I mean, it's true.
I did, I absolutely did. I mean, I struggled up through middle school, and I wouldn't say I started collecting comics in 7th grade, but always had like Santa Claus would bring me comics in my stocking every year, whether it was G.I. Joe or Star Wars or Spider-Man. So, but I really didn't dig in deep until like 7th grade. And I've heard other collectors on the show reference the Marvel Universe cards and stuff like that. So that was about that same time. I remember sitting in the stands of PE trading Marvel cards with friends of mine, and and that's really how I got into it, just reading the stats of the characters and the fact it just introduced me to a whole new breadth of characters where I was just kind of like, Batman, Spider-Man, Hulk, just kind of the front and center characters, so pillar characters. But yeah, I remember not knowing who Wolverine was until I got those cards and started reading them. Like, what in the world? This is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people came to comics from the cards.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever works. At the end of the day, for the industry, it was a great thing in the 90s and early 2000s were interesting. But anyway, you got people into comics. It was a good thing. I mean, but it's funny, like a lot of the sketch card collectors, they really haven't read a lot of comics, right? They like the imagery, the iconography of the characters, and that's what attracts them to the artwork that they buy. But they haven't read a lot, right? Or they haven't met a lot of the creators in person before. But that's all okay. However you come to comics is a good thing, right? And so again, of us running shows, I mean, that's the thing. It's like we don't care what got you here. We're just glad that you're interested enough to come through the door.
Exactly. Yep. So what we got next?
We got a Charlie Adlard page, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Walking Dead page.
So yeah, I'd really love to have a zombie page from Walking Dead. I dug in deep on Walking Dead whenever it came out, and I just happened to come across this page, and while it's not a huge action page, it is a kind of a key moment in the Walking Dead lore where Carl meets Lucy, one of the Whisperers, the daughter of Alpha. This is their introduction. If the word bubbles are here, they're just introducing it to each other, but they end up becoming a couple, becoming romantically involved in the story, and that is just kind of a key moment to me. And so I picked it up, and I was like, I mean, it's a lot of black ink, but I just like the expressions on the face, and I remember reading this book. So and she became, I think she's still, she was a key character in the show and survived throughout the rest of the Walking Dead story. So, yeah. So I have the inks and the pencils to this.
Oh, nice. That's true. Yeah, a lot of Charlie's stuff was separate, but it's always cool to see Charlie's pencils. And what was it? What was it? Wanho? I can never remember who was the guy who I think it was Wanho who did the inks.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but yeah, I have one page too from Walking Dead, and you're right. I mean, you want a zombie page, but every those are the ones that are marked up 50% higher or more than any of the other ones, and every time you find a nice one, it usually gets picked up quick, or it's just a little more than you want to spend. Right? It's like,
for sure. Or you can't find the ink, or I'll come across the inks and not the pencils. And I'd like to have the pair if possible.
That's what Stefano got. Thank you guys.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I have a page where they're just like the Rick like teaching him how to shoot, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a father-son moment. All right, I'll take that. That's my one page
exactly.
that I'll have from the book, and it's memorable. And
I think I've seen that one on your gallery. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, memorable. Back in the day when these were coming out, I'd go to San Diego a lot and work with Mark Hay at Splash Page, and so I got to hang out with Charlie a lot. And
really,
it was just amazing the amount of there was people were buying stuff up before Mark could scan it. And it was just it was a crazy time. I'm sure Mark wishes he could go back in time and relive that that 4 or 5 year window where people just wanted anything they could get Walking Dead. And yeah, it was cool. I mean, I got to go to a couple of pretty cool Walking Dead parties and meet the actors and stuff. But I was a shy nerd, so I didn't say anything. But I was there. It was right there next to Rick. Got my photo with it.
Put
Yeah,
yourself out there.
these are awesome. I always look when anything from Walking Dead comes up because it's just nice memories of that time and just
Mhm.
I mean, again, Charlie was a really really fun guy to hang around with. Now
Yep.
Herbie, right? What do we got
Herbie.
here?
So this was just a random page. I always liked Herbie and FF, and here's another one of those just stumble across that something spoke to me. I like the type pencils.
Mhm.
This is a Kurth piece from a Iron Man Legacy book, I do believe. And I was talking about how I would get commissions done on sketch covers, and the size and the scale at which you get a commission done, whether it's a head sketch or what have you. I'm like, I can buy a published page with a full figure Herbie, for the story, and I'm like, why not? I think I got it for less than what I would pay for a commission. So I'm like, why not? It
It
was
is.
there. The price was right. It's a cool Herbie with type pencils. Pull the
What's not
trigger.
to like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
That's
I've been doing this a while, and as a collector and CAF and everything, and it is interesting. I find myself asking kind of like that same question. It's like, man, a decent commission is like $700-800 now, but I can
uh-huh.
get a published page for half that.
Yeah.
It's weird how that's flipped because
Yeah.
definitely when I first started collecting, it was it wasn't like the art might have been $200, but you could
Uh-huh.
get a $100 sketch when you went to San Diego or something,
Right.
and
Right.
it's totally the other way around. And
No, no.
um,
Yeah.
but the good thing is there's a market for commissions and
Mm-hmm.
convention sketches now that there really wasn't there before. And maybe the buying pool is smaller, but if you get a nice Simone Bianchi Electra piece commission, there's probably a
Mm-hmm.
few other buyers out there that are
Sure.
interested in it, know
Sure.
what his market is, and if they really like it, they might pay more
Mm-hmm.
than it would cost to commission him because the piece is when the opportunity's there to get it. But it is
Yeah.
something you do see so much more. You see that a lot now, and uh, it- to the point where it makes the published pages sometimes look a little bit more attractive.
Yeah. It does. Yeah. It's I find myself, I'll find a piece and I'll just just zoom in on it like you had here, and just kind of like, oh yeah, really, you just, again, looking at the craft that went into putting the piece together, building the illustration out and rendering it. And it's just like, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
fine things that you just love, just intricacies that just like, yeah, I want to put that in the folio.
So did you like the FF movie Tricky Traps, or want to know if you got the popcorn bucket?
I did. I got the popcorn bucket. My family and I just happened to be in Orlando near you, and caught it at Disney Springs. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was a packed house. It was a fun experience. Yeah, I loved it
That
for
would be
sure.
cool. I've always wanted to go see a Marvel movie at Disney Springs, and it just hasn't worked out yet. But I feel like I have to do that once. So
Yeah, and
maybe when
the way
the
they
Dune
do
movie
it,
comes
and
out.
they kind of just the way they promote it at on a Disney property at the AMC is just the fanfare that's around it too. It's just you almost feel like you're walking a red carpet going to the theater there, and just because it's
I've
just
never been to a
a lot of
movie there,
buzz.
but yeah, I've walked by it many times, and exactly that's why I've always thought like if
Mhm.
I need to do that. So yeah, it'll be the Doom movie. I'll have to like figure out how to do that and
Mhm.
just commit to it. Buy my
Yeah,
tickets early.
absolutely, highly recommended. So what's next?
What do we got? Hey, you've got one with the word balloons on the page here, and
So I'm kind of taking through a journey in my collecting journey over the past year. So I did not have any pages that had the actual word balloons, whether they be stats or on the page. This one happens to have both stat and on page. Fun story about this. I'm always accustomed to going to comic shops and being like, "Hey, I see what you have on your wall, but what's in the back?" You know what I mean? Like, where's the
Yeah,
good?
well, those who ask
Where's the good
questions
stuff?
usually get
Right.
rewarded. Mm-hmm.
So I walked into a local shop in the area, and it was fairly newly opened shop, and the owner is a California transplant, so he had tons of stuff that you would find on the West Coast, whether it be San Diego exclusives and signed books from different artists. But I asked him, I was like, "Hey, do you happen to have any original art?" He said, "You know what? Let me go back here." So he pulls a tote out, and it's just chock full of just paper items, whether it was like movie posters, promo cards for movies, just a lot of movie stuff. And he's like, I know I have some pages in here somewhere. I got them from from a collector in LA or something. But this happened to be one of the pages he had in. He probably had about half a dozen pieces in this box. And I was going through, and I was just like, "Ah, this is cool. It's a House of Mystery. It's got the word balloons, and I don't have an example like this in my folio." So I picked up, I want to say five pages from him, just various different subject matter. Didn't know who the artists were, what if there was significance to them. I just knew that there were older pages, and it was like, the price is right, and let me grab these. So come to find out, this page is actually one of 5 pages of a anthology story in House of Mystery. Is it 242?
292.
292. But it's first published work of Mark Silverstreet.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, right?
So one page out of the 5-page story. I was just like, holy crap, So it's funny to look at this page and look at his X-Men work, because that's where I jumped into X-Men when he was doing Uncanny, right? So huge Silverstreet fan. I was super excited to have found this piece.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, well, it pays to ask questions. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And when the art's there and the price is right, buy as much as you can.
Exactly. And he had a couple other pages I left behind, just they didn't resonate with me. So I was just, but now I'm like, maybe I should have grabbed those. But yeah. But this page and then the next page was part of.
I was gonna say, is this
stuff
from
I
the
grabbed.
same wall?
It was, yeah. And
This is
here
Steve
again.
Lemur?
Yep, Lemur. Yeah. I'm not a big DC fan, not much of a Hawkman fan, but I mean, this is also awesome double page here that just the amount of characters in it. I'm like, that's pretty special. So I was like, let me grab that. So yeah, you got the Flash in there, Blue Devil. Some of the characters are like, I'm not sure who that is. So I had to do some research.
Yeah, I can't say that I know them all either, but yeah, that's pretty funny. You got Blue Beetle in there. Yeah, Flash is drinking Tang.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So just the content here just grabbed me, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I threw it in the stack.
Yeah, Absolute Beetle. Yeah, on the back of that magazine. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marcus, more DC. We don't see enough DC artwork on the show. That's for sure. No, this is a cool page.
It's just a fun page. It's got the stats glued on, the printed stats, and yeah, it's just like I said, just the productions out of it. Just looking at how people pasted things up, and I just love that so much.
And it's on 2 boards, so it's taped together on the back too.
Yep, it is.
And you didn't separate it, right? So you could put one on, facing one another.
No, I kept everything taped. Let me ask you something. So pages that have let's just your basic tape, clear tape, right? And what's going to possibility the acids are going to turn yellow, right? What are the thoughts on using artist tape? Replace the tape with artist tape, if possible.
I mean, if it's still holding the DPS
acid
together.
free. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I mean, because a lot of times, certainly as it gets older, it gets brittle and breaks, and you end up having to do something. Either you do nothing and you do like I said, you put them on both sides of the of an Itoya and to separate them, or you bring them back together. It's really, I think it's down to your preference and what you're most comfortable with. But yeah, that kind of stuff. As long as you're not defacing the art,
Yeah.
then all is fine. We don't like it when you erase anything on the front side. If like there's some pencil marks that you don't like because in the inker didn't erase them, leave them on there. It's like, like you just said, you want to see the whole craft. How, what did they use to,
Totally.
yeah. And that's really the fun part. But sometimes you have to take care of stuff, and that's an easy thing. That one there is like the no-brainer. Yeah, to replace the tape if it's separating or getting too brittle, or is going to yellow, like you said.
Right. So I was just thinking through, like, I'm going, I wonder if it's what's the best practice here. So because I kind of look at it as you own these pieces, you're kind of I feel like I'm a steward for these pieces, right? Just keep them in good shape for future generations, if you will. And I think that's looking far ahead, but still, just try to be the best caregiver of these pieces as I can while I have them,
It's older work, say late 60s and earlier, where you have issues with acidity in the paper, and that's like something that most people don't consider. And definitely, if you had the money, you want to deacidify the paper if you can, but most people don't do that. They just put it in a bag and everything. But that's the one thing that can over time definitely damage the artwork, is having paper that has a high acid quality, and most papers did pre 1970. So and I can say I've never done anything with it. The only time I had anything deacidified was when I was already having some some restoration work done on a piece, and they said this board is acidic and has water damage to it. So they were like, it has mold on it. So it's like, okay, I guess I got to take care of all of that, or I might not have the art piece that I thought that I paid for now 10 years ago could just be totally different and ruined. And back to, like you said, you're the caretaker, the custodian of the artwork. So if you really love it, you want to do anything you can to kind of preserve it in its current state.
Totally.
Rich Danny says, don't color it with a crayon.
Temptations may have come by once or twice.
Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, and one of the most funny, one of the most funny bits that somebody we interviewed a few years back, for his graphic for the show, like you have yourself. Well, he took a picture of him and his son, where he had photocopied the artwork, and they're both coloring in original art pages. It looked like. That was so funny, but so in character for our friend Steve. He's a cut up. But when I got that, I was like, oh, this is the best show graphic ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I struggle with is, just from being a good caretaker, you can see I have this huge window here. I would love to fill my wall full of everything I have, but I have, it's east facing, so I have sun just blaring through for half the day, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to display my favorite pieces, just because I just don't want to get sun faded. I've seen the results before. I'm just like and it's not, I guess I could do copies, like scan print copies of the pieces, and
a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it's not the same.
It's not.
But you get to look at your art and not be damaging it. And it does. If you ever have a hurricane blowing through, it's easier just to grab the portfolio and run with it. Leave those photocopies on the wall. Who cares? I know, and I've thought about that too, because I don't hang a lot of my favorite pieces. And I haven't framed anything in a very long time. But But I've thought about it because I don't look at my art as often as I used to, and when I come across stuff that I'm like, oh man, I really like that piece, but you think, yeah, so to each their own. But I do think photocopying the pages isn't a terrible thing to do.
No.
I just haven't done it.
The only thing is, like, if you want to spend the money to have some cool framing, like trying to justify this, you know what I mean? It's like you
want to go with
the money to frame something that
you want some Michael's frames, that you got for 4 for $45 or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I get it.
But so this piece, I mentioned going to OAX 2024. I was able to find some nice pieces. I was only able to go for one day. But yeah, this is one of the pieces, Joe Bennett. It's a Silver Surfer Black, if you see the colored piece. With Thor's hammer, it was questioned whether or not it was a Marvel Legends production piece. But for the size and the subject matter, I was like, I don't care. It's just awesome. So I purchased it and wasn't home too long. I went online and found that it's actually box art for this particular Silver Surfer Black character, or version of the action
the format, the size, shape, and everything is one I haven't seen before.
It's definitely a weird shape, but the colored artwork for this piece is fantastic. Just a lot of pinks and silvers. It's pretty awesome. So I'm not a big Marvel action figure collector, so I had to buy the action figure.
You gotta at that
pair
point
with the piece just to have
right, because for something like that, you want to own it if you can, because it's not a comic, it's something unique. It goes with it. I'd buy
totally.
If I had box art, I would probably do the exact same thing.
The unfortunate thing was it's probably one of the more expensive Silver Surfer figures on the market.
Like, that might hold me back then. I'll be like, all right, I've saved that auction on eBay or that buy it now, and I'll just go back and look at it when I'll print that and put it on the wall.
I probably spent more on the figure than I did for the art. It was pretty silly. So,
then I'm sorry to hear that.
It's crazy.
But I'm glad you made it. So OAX for you was a one-day show?
It was, unfortunately. Yeah. I attended Saturday and had to travel for work the following day. So I had to cut it short. I could have spent 3 days. So, which I'm trying to do 2026. So
it's going to be a 3-day event in 2026.
Look forward to it.
The preview night and everything. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Friday's going to be, it's going to be a very interesting day. That's for sure. Big event day. Guys, I'm sure we're going to have probably at least 3 or 4 things going on, and hopefully more than that. We're encouraging anybody traveling to come in on Thursday night, just because. Why not, right? Start the party early.
Absolutely. So I'm hoping I'm be able to take in much more time this next year. So I'm excited for it. And,
one of the things I like about Florida.
What's that?
The number of times a bug gets underneath the screen of my monitor. I'm looking at this one. It's crawling over the hammer on on the screen right now. I thought I could brush it away, but it's not. It's like just underneath the glass, walking on top of it. I'm like, son of a gun. That happens like once a week. And they're not they're not like ants. These are decent sized flying insects that somehow get behind my monitor glass down here. Never happened in Ohio. Down here all the time.
Florida and critters, man. It's I'm a native, so it's
it's just commonplace.
I know it is.
And I gotta tell you, you sent me the biggest scans. I'm so happy. Usually it's hit or miss sometimes, but you scan your stuff at a good size. Yeah, if I wanted to print these and put them on my wall, you gave me the best scans to do it. So
awesome.
if I want to feel like I own your artwork,
Well, that's, just going back to kind of learning processes and trying to really be the best collector that I can. CAF has been instrumental in just kind of learning those best practices and figuring out the best way to present, the work that I have in the collection. So I'm lucky enough, my company has a plethora of different flatbed scanners that I can utilize, and I'll save up and go into the office periodically and just do a scan day.
But we all appreciate that. Better scans are, I mean, because we're looking at art, man. We want to look at the best. We want to be able to zoom in on them on CAF
For
if
sure.
we can. Yeah, no, that's the way to go. So what are we lacking on CAF? Anything educational that we could be doing, for new collectors like yourself that maybe we haven't
Like a thesaurus of sorts.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's why, you're new to the hobby. I mean, literally been collecting, you've been involved, love comics for a long time, but as far as an art collector, you just passed your first anniversary.
Yeah.
And CAF has helped you a little bit, but what could we have
It's
done
helped me a
to
lot.
Okay. Could we have
Yeah.
done anything more to speed along your education in
My education?
the
I don't, I have to think on that.
Okay, but yeah,
But
I mean, please,
I feel
if
like the
anything hits
resources
you.
are helpful as they are. But let me think about that and see. I
Okay.
know I have gone down a rabbit hole of looking up different things. I mean, you could just take a deep dive on chat boards and stuff like that, trying to decipher what's what and read people's comments. And yeah, it's kind of just a gradual thing for me. So, but
All right. Well, I'm always
yeah,
open to
I'll
talking.
make notes. Yeah,
You have my number now.
I do.
So is this
But,
another
this is another grab from OAX.
Oh, great.
Yep. So here again, this is actually one page of some sequential pages. This is another anthology story in a Carnage. It's a Black, White, and Blood. I mean, it's a newer title. I was familiar with it, and I just came across. I mean, here again, it's just the line work, just the rendering of how it all came together is just there's so much to look at, right? It just draws you in. And there's a sequential spread and another splash to this that I was like, all right, I just have to get all three of these here. So this is probably one of my favorite of the 3 pages, though. Just this Carnage jumping over Dylan Brock. So yeah, it's cool because and what I found interesting is if you zoom in on the mouth, it's actually I don't know, it's not a paste up, it's actually was cut out and then a piece of paper was glued on the back to change the mouth design.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. You see that a lot in older art where they've cut out whole panels and taped in, a whole new box in the back. I mean, same things with, where they've cut out figures or smaller, things like this. There was, I've seen heads cut out before. I mean, what are you going to do, right? If something look and feel on a character changes, I mean, I'm sure somebody in the chat will remember, like, there was something with Secret Wars where one of the characters' costumes had to change, and so they had to go back and fix stuff before it went out. I can't remember what that was, but
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So you just never know, like silly stuff like that happens, and you got to stick with continuity or whatever.
It's so cool. It's I have several pieces where the artist is like drawn kind of the prelims on the back of the page and then flipped it over
or lightbox it. I know I've never quite understood why they do that, but I've seen the same thing, right? It's like because they're drawing it backwards, and then they okay, but hey, whatever works. And everybody's got their process.
Yep. But yeah, so yeah, this is this piece. I think at the last show I grabbed probably about 7 pieces. So it was a good day. It was a good day.
Good.
Yeah.
You walked away happy. That's
Absolutely.
That's what we like to hear. So you were about 90 pages short from Dave Kopecki, who was in the chat earlier. The man is like
I
on a
don't. How do you do that?
what? He did a lot of prearranged stuff. So I think he was spending money for like 6 months leading up to it. So he already had like 30 pieces or whatever to pick up when he got there. And he's amazing. He's gonna go down in history as a legendary art collector of this
crazy.
era.
Yeah.
The amount of pieces
I probably could have done a little bit more damage, but just the experience at OX, just being able to sit and talk with artists without the hustle and bustle and just really have conversations was such a great experience.
Right, even on the Saturday, right? I mean, it was you still had the time that you could talk to anybody you wanted. It
was amazing. It really was. But the conversation does cut into page flipping, so the conversations probably saved my wallet just a little bit, but the memories of the conversations are fantastic.
Yeah,
you can blush.
Well, Dave, you're already legendary, Dave. You really are. You've impressed many of us with your ability to pick up so much artwork. It's great. I mean, we all love this hobby. So tell me about this one. It's a Dave Dorman Vampirella.
Dave Dorman Vampirella. So speaking of not having kind of a buying threshold, I don't know that I'll ever have a Frazetta piece. So this piece spoke to me. I saw it. It was probably about that same time last year around OX. Dave had done some Vampirella covers for Dynamite. I think it was Vampirella Dark Reflections or something, if I remember correctly. This was one that didn't get printed. He had done another one that was homage to Vampirella #1 that was still done in this same style.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw this piece online. I'm like, oh man, just the contrast with the light, and just drew me in. And I saw it online, and it was, I think it was More Great Art had it posted, and I was like, I don't know, him and Hall, do I want, should I buy it, should I not? But anyway, fast forward to MegaCon, that was right after OAX. Dave was there, and he had this piece sitting there on it, sitting at his table, full display. And then I saw it in person, and I was like, pack it up, I'll take it. I'll take it. So
Dave's a very awesome guy. Because and you're right, he works with MGA, but no, I mean, I get it. Sometimes you see a piece, and that's the thing that pushes you over the edge. Either seeing it a couple more times online, or I mean, certainly seeing it in person after you already decided that you liked it. Yeah, it's fate at that point, Michael.
Yeah, I was holding it, and it was just the way the light was hitting it, and you can see all his brush strokes. I was just like, oh man, okay. But I still had some funds left over from OAX, so
well, I guess we should be disappointed about that. You didn't.
Maybe.
Hey, well, here I'll show you this, because if those were fighting words, you saving some money for MegaCon. Kazra said Penn State will be beating Georgia in the national championship game. He's just throwing it out. You threw that out there about an hour ago, and I missed showing it. But there you have it.
All right. I want to take a snapshot of that.
All right. No, but I love Dave's stuff. I mean, he's worked on some very popular IPs over time. He's done some great work in the Star Wars universe, as many people know. And I mean, he's just he's a professional, and he's a great painter. So
being a Star Wars fan, just going way back to the 90s when he was doing the all the the expanded universe stories for Dark Horse. I was really drawn in by his artwork then, and just think I've met him several times. I met him at Celebration one year, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. So Trying to get him to Jax one day, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, he would be a good get. He would get him to do a show poster or something for you. I mean, that would be cool.
Right?
Even then, you might be
Absolutely.
inclined to buy it. That's the problem, unless somebody else gets it.
Absolutely. But
yeah.
this piece, you know, I mentioned it wasn't published, but word has it that Dynamite still has it on file in their archives. So I don't know, maybe one day it'll be in a trade or something. I don't know.
It's lightning did strike once for you, the first piece of art you bought. So
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's an awesome piece, regardless. So yeah, so this is a Chris Campagna cover for Kid Deadpool and Spider Boy. This is the first appearance title for the movie version of Kidpool in comics. So at the same MegaCon, I came across Chris's table. He was sitting there, and I'm finding too, if I engage with the artist and there's great people, I'm much more inclined to put some money towards their to their artwork. So Chris was sitting there and he was just kind of twiddling his thumbs, and I stopped and just, you know, he had some artwork of, you know, his folio sitting there, and I started flipping through it, and I was familiar with the pages that he had in there, and talked to him. I was like, "How's your show going?" He's like, it's a little slow, and you know, there's so many people at the show that it's so crowded, and he just kind of was off in the corner, and I just sat there and talked to him for over an hour, and I saw his page, and I was just like, I like the significance of the cover. Spider Boy was a thing, or you know, it was actually a, you know, he's an active, you know, actual title right now. So I was like, okay, it's Spider-Man adjacent. I like Deadpool. And he had the cover and several of the pages, and I made an offer. He took it, and here I am. So I have the cover of the book. It's a variant cover, and almost a complete story.
Almost, he didn't have all the pages.
No, I think I'm missing like one, and it wasn't quite an anthology book, but it could have been. So, but yeah, all but one page. I was like, okay, I'll settle.
Well, so, maybe that one page will turn up, right?
Yeah. But you know, I just got a great deal. I couldn't pass it up. You know, to get a Kid Deadpool and Spider Boy cover. You know, here again, price is right, and the tight pencils and the artwork spoke to me. And Chris is a great guy, so
that's all it takes.
Yeah, I mean, to a point, I saw him at Heroes this past year, and he had some more artwork, and just a great guy. You know, I mean, buy some more artwork. So I grabbed a couple more pages from him at Heroes. So
did Dave Dorman move to Florida?
He did. I think he lives in like the Lakeland area or something.
Oh, so down our way. Okay, well, cool. You were right, Casper.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The Thing.
Yeah. This is Gist, right?
It is. I love Eric Gist work. So this piece here again, just going back to kind of the collector journey, figure things out. This piece went up for sale on CAF just at a random time, and I saw it. I'm just like, I really want a Gist piece, an example. I'm not like the biggest thing collector, but if I were to have a thing piece, this was the one. So I contacted the seller, and I apologize, I probably should have wrote it down. And we were able to make a deal. So I was super excited to get this piece in hand. I mean, it looks even better in person. It had been on CAF for quite a while, and yeah, I had to have it, and it's one of my favorite pieces in my collection. just
No,
the
Eric,
lighting
Eric's
with the
fantastic.
cigarette,
Yeah.
with the cigar, cherry on there, and it's just it's amazing. The blue eyes.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, the first time I saw Eric was at an IX art show, and he was set up not too far from me, and it was funny because he had a lot of um, 8x10, 8x12
Mhm.
Marvel figure paint pieces just for fun, but
Yeah.
that was like half of his wall of art, and I remember I didn't have enough, I didn't have the cash to buy anything,
Yeah.
but I had, I was new to his art. I'd never met him before and never
Mhm.
knew his name, and it was just cool getting to see all that stuff up in person. I was like, man, he should be working for Marvel. This would have been
Right.
like 10 years ago or thereabouts, and now there he is. I mean, he's amazing. He's just
Mhm.
uh yeah, if you get to see any of his work in person, it's always good. And he will, he's gonna be at the show and everything. But
I'm
uh,
excited. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. When we
I
were
s-
talking about trying to get people to bring unique stuff, I can't wait to see
yeah.
what he's gonna bring.
Yeah. I met him maybe 2 years ago at MegaCon.
Hey,
Super
good.
nice guy, and he didn't have a lot of his. He was just signing books. There wasn't a lot of. He didn't have a lot there on display as far as original art went. But yeah, and I've gone on his website and like I really like that piece, But here again, the price point was right here, and just to have this example, I'm super excited to have it, and I love showing it off.
Yeah. No, that's before you sent me that photograph, I had to get this show record started because I like doing
But
that, and I used this image on the show graphic, and then I don't think it was 24 hours later you sent me the photograph, so I swapped it
I
out.
know I saw you posted. I'm like, I think I
Okay.
like that better than my
I
mug.
He might have left in there because usually when we get it set up in the mailing, maybe this image is what's stuck because we didn't update it. But yeah, I just love Eric's stuff, so I'm glad you have a piece from him, and yeah, that's like Stingray said, he needs a Gist. We all need a Gist in our
Yeah,
collection.
it's
You
just
find the right one.
you see it in person, and it's just delighting. I can't say enough about this piece.
This can go on your wall,
Yeah,
and I want to have too many
totally.
issues.
Yeah.
What did Kazner say? It's a portrait of Jack Kirby when Stan said, "I created Silver Surfer." Yeah, that's true. Yep, stogie and all. Yeah, he's like,
It's
"Come here."
yeah, it's great.
Well, congrats on this one. I mean, like you say,
Thank you.
sometimes it's just the art, man. You don't have to be a fan of a super fan of the character or whatever. But when the art's right,
Mhm.
yeah, a Gist is on your list. Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
and here you
so
go, Finch. He
this
loves
piece is
David stuff.
so it's not a Batman page. It's in a Batman book. I found this piece here again, just kind of figuring out things, and I stumbled across this piece, and it was listed as a friend piece of artwork. Is it Richard Friend? Right?
Oh, right. He lists the inker, right, and didn't list the.
Just listed the inker, and I saw
Nice.
it. I'm like, that's a Finch piece. So David's been doing the Walking Dead deluxe covers, right? And I just love
Mhm.
his zombie art, right? And I came across this piece, and I'm like, it's not a zombie, but it's pretty damn close to what he's doing for Walking Dead. So I was just
Yeah.
like, here again, it's the splash page. The splash page, the price is right. It's a Finch piece example in the folio. I was like, absolutely, you know. So, and then the
It's always great
calligraphy.
when the art's mislabeled or, the seller isn't up on comic art and just
Hmm.
somehow, you never know how they stumble on some of this stuff, but yeah, eBay's been good to a lot of people miscategorizing pieces
Yeah,
and things like that. Yeah. Oh, no, you did well. I mean, I love Finch's stuff. I've not picked anything up, but from him yet. But I mean, come on, the skill. He's so damn
yeah,
talented, and he's a fan favorite. I mean, you look at at
absolutely.
OEX, who had the longest lines every day.
Hmm.
It was Finch. He's
Yeah.
he's just awesome.
Heroes as well. I mean, just
Yeah.
it was in demand. It's funny. I took this piece to Heroes because David hadn't signed it, so I pulled it out and had him sign it. He just looked at it. It was funny. He just critiquing his own work. He just sat there and stared at it for, a few minutes, and he was just like, "Where'd you find this? I remember doing this." So it's fun to you pull something out, and they're like, "Okay, cool, yeah."
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of hear kind of the history of how it was acquired. Yeah, he is.
There you go. And who would have known that? That is an interesting fact, Stingray.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah. I hope you own that page, Newell. We will find out.
So it's just
that's great.
It's a great page. I'd really love to have a Batman Finch page, but you know what? Until that time comes and the special one crossed my path, this is a fine placeholder.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Speaking of Heroes, so
yeah, wow.
Heroes this year, I went kind of with a short list of things I wanted to try to get at the show, and a Scotty Young piece was an example piece was on my list. The year prior, I flipped through his folio, so I knew what his prices looked like. So I saved up, and first day of Heroes, I followed. I was waiting in line, and his manager showed up with his folios, and it was like a swarm. It was a swarm of people. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it. So he had 3 folios. One was some of his his not so original art or something like that, his prints, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had one with covers, which was definitely the more pricey folio, and then he had a folio with interiors and prelims and such. So I didn't know what I was going for. I was just flipping pages along with a dozen other people, just looking over each other's shoulder, and people were just like, mine, mine, mine. I'm like, wait a minute, what? It was the most surreal experience. I was like, what is happening right now? Finally, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, okay, it's a Spider-Man, Scotty Young, double page splash. I was like, okay, I'll take this one. And I knew I made the right choice, because as soon as I said dibs, just everybody around me is just like sighed, like, oh. It's like, okay, I must have picked the right one,
Yep, exactly. That's awesome.
This is definitely it's one of his earlier stories. It was a one-shot Spider-Man book based off the anime style that he did. So yeah, it's just a fun page. It's not a highly detailed Spider-Man page, but just the action and the movement and the energy in it just really resonated with me. And I think it's a great Scotty example to have in the collection.
No, it really is. I mean, you think about his covers, first, but I mean, he's a great storyteller too. The panel layout on this thing is great. Flows really well as a DPS, and no, it's awesome. Doesn't matter that Spidey's small on it.
No, and fun fact, there's another collector in Florida. I forget the gentleman's name, but I think he lives in Orlando. But the pencils for this was also in the folio. So I bought the inks, and he and I came across each other later in the show, and he's like, I got a Scotty piece. I was like, really? He's like, what? I was like, what'd you get? He said, oh, a double page spread. I was like, Spider-Man? He's like, yeah. So I pull it out, and he's like, oh, you got the inks? So and the pencils reside in Florida. So fun fact.
All right. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you probably want to own them both if you could, but you can't own everything.
Yeah. The pencils were pretty fun too. A lot more busy and more chaotic, but I like the finished inks. So
yeah, if I could only have one or the other, I would always go with the inks. That's for sure.
I mentioned Chris Companion. Buying from him at Heroes. Here again, price is right. You got different variations of Captain America, Falcon, Patriot. Yeah, so just a impactful, high action, multiple character representation type pencils. It checked all the boxes for me. And
Yeah, the
Chris
depth
is
on
awesome.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is finished pencils.
Yeah,
Everybody.
he does a great job. So yeah, sit there and just kind of chit chat with Chris and walk away with this awesome piece. I can't.
Yeah, that's how it works. So, when you're talking with them for a while, you're almost obligated. I mean, if you have a good conversation at the end of the day,
Totally. Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's what's fun about it. I mean,
it
you're
is.
being a patron of the arts. You're supporting a creator directly by buying art from them, and what's better than that, right? At the
Mhm.
I don't know. You almost can't. You don't want to walk away without picking up something,
Yeah.
even if you end up just spending $60 on a sketch card or something like that.
Mhm.
You want to support them. So, no, this is great.
It just adds to the experience for me. You
Mhm.
remember those conversations, you remember the moment, and you flip through the book, and it's just kind of yeah. Here again at Heroes. So Chad Harden was there, and I knew we were going to have Jimmy and Amanda at our show this year. So I was like, what do I want to get Jimmy to sign? So I was like, and he'd been putting in the work on Deadly Tales of Gunslinger Spawn, and Chad had done one of the books, and he had these, some fantastic pages to one of the books. So he's an awesome guy too. So we chit chatted with him, and ended up picking up this Spawn page. Yeah, it's one of those. I was tempted to buy kind of the bookend pages to kind of show the sequence, but the more I looked at it, I was like, I don't know. It kind of tells its own story without any kind of supportive context,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's.
But you thought about it because
I did.
that's
I
your
did.
approach.
I did. And I went around. It's funny. I was trying to figure out, what I wanted to. I knew I wanted to get a piece of OA to have Jimmy sign, and I did at Heroes as well. I came across some Jonah Hex pages that were available that I almost bought, but I waited around, and I found this piece, and yeah. So I was able to talk with Chad, and he talked about working on the book. Then once I acquired the page and then put it in front of Jimmy, I got to hear his side from a writing standpoint about the page. So it's just kind of build on that experience. So
Mhm.
yeah, I love this page. It's just a lot going on. I mean, look at the gear, just the detail in the gears, and yeah, just all the detail
Yeah.
in the Spawn figure. Yeah,
A lot of detail in those knives
I
and
know.
hatchets and cleavers and
Yeah, it's just so much work put into this page. It's fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a pretty good writer.
Yeah, he's all
Yeah.
right. No, he's great.
Yeah. He might watch this. So we gotta make sure we take care of Jimmy. Jimmy's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's awesome. He and Amanda. That was a highlight to our show this past
He
year.
was, I mean, the line at their table was long at your show. Every time I walked by, there was like 20 people in line. And
Yeah,
if you didn't encourage me to say something to him, I might not have got a chance to talk to him because I was
it
going to leave.
was
And
it
I hadn't been
was it
able to talk
was
to him.
steady.
Yeah. No, that was great. Shows
And,
the fans love him.
and it was here again, just people were able to take time to talk to them and really have meaningful interactions with them,
Mhm.
without being, in just chaos. So
Yeah. Well, the two of them are so gracious with the
they are.
fans. They really stay focused on who's in front of them, and I mean, and that's their business, right? I
They
mean,
do.
they're perfect. There are times when you walk up to whatever, a dealer, a rep, or an artist, and they're just not having a good day. But I've never seen Jimmy or Amanda ever not be like so, gregarious and outgoing and happy to see anybody who's at their table.
Yeah, for sure. They were great. My youngest daughter, she's very timid, and she just walked up, and she's just, because we had in the show program, we had made it to where it was a Harley Quinn fold out poster. So if kids came, they didn't have anything specifically to get signed, they could take this free piece to the table and have both of them sign it. So she walked up with her brochure unfolded. Will you sign it? So, and they were, come take a picture. It was,
of course.
Fantastic. So
that's awesome.
She has it up on her wall. Yeah, it's a great.
Nice.
Experience.
Well, you're gonna have to get her a piece of original art at some point. Remember that?
Yeah, we'll see about that.
It's all for you, right? Right now, exactly. It's all Michael's. Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see as they get older, see what their appreciation level is. Yeah. So this is.
Did you pick this up in July?
I did. So I went around and again, like, let me get a piece to commemorate the show, and Alex had this piece, and yeah, I must have flipped through his folios like a dozen times. Just there's so many strips that were just so fantastic, different subject matter. I've never had a piece signed by Stan Lee before, so it had the trifecta here. And even though this piece doesn't have Spidey in every panel, it was, I don't know, something about this piece kind of spoke, just the inks, the way they were laid down, just the facial features just really spoke to me. So
inks are always special,
Yeah.
Joe is just so dang talented, and he made everybody look better. And this is a great example.
Just Sandman, the way Sandman's hair is, the way, I remember him being like those Spider-Man cartoons as a kid watching it, and this was kind of my Sandman growing up.
Yeah, so, that's the way Ditko drew hair like that.
Yeah,
I was like, it looked so odd, but I was watching a Spider-Man cartoon today. I don't know which one Maureen had on. It was like we're Oscorp. Spidey's he's getting his costume and stuff. I don't know which. I have no idea what I was watching, but it was funny. Same hairstyle, and I'm like, that's Ditko hair right there. I thought it was cool. Like that the animators of today are kind of like tipping the cap to the artistic styles of the of Ditko. I mean, why they didn't need to, but it worked, and it was really cool seeing it. So this is awesome. And I got to talk with Alex a little bit. He stopped me when I was on the floor. He was walking the floor, and he's such a nice guy. I mean,
he has such great energy too. Just great interaction.
Well, nope, you did well. And again, it's you got to walk away with something from the artist there if you can.
Oh, totally. And this year I did have the forethought to get a small sketchbook to have some small sketches for the guests that were there, and they were all gracious enough to put some art in there for me. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna keep adding to that, and that might be the OA piece that the girls get later on down the road.
Well, there you go. Yeah, when I was there, I picked up a piece from Tim Tyler.
Yep.
I was just saying, I'm like, because I think I had something from everybody else that was there. Yeah, I did. I except for Amanda, I've never gotten anything from her. I have to correct that. Yeah. But this Tim stuff, I mean, some of it's not my taste, but it was like this really cool piece that had like Odin on it, and like this thing is awesome. Had hand lettering on it. It was a title page. I'm like, I think, what did I ask him? I'm like, I asked him how much it was because it didn't have a price on it. And I think he said like $40. And I said, I'm going to give you 60. And I was like,
I was just about to say, I was like, and the prices are just
Right.
fantastic. I
You
mean,
know,
you
for
can,
a really, I mean, I have no idea what it was published in, but it was gorgeous.
yeah,
It was something from his own stuff, and I'm like, why, why not? I mean, I could have bought more if I knew what I was buying, and maybe I would have, because I asked him if he had the book there, and he didn't, so I couldn't even reference it. And I looked online when I got home. I'm like, I can't find what this
can't
book
find
is.
it.
So,
Yeah, he had some fun. I know multiple people that grabbed some stuff from him at the show. Yeah.
and he's doing those pieces he's trying to get syndicated, in
Mhm,
Florida. Yeah, I thought those were
mhm.
funny too. So no, hey, you gotta make a living somehow. But now, okay, wait a minute. Now we have some more word balloons on a published X-Men page. What's this from?
We do. All right. So this is from X-Men 12. It's a first appearance book of Hazard, I think memory serves. But this was the first book done after Jim Lee's run ended in the X-Men run that he did in the 90s. I think Art Tibert, am I
T-Bear.
pronouncing it? Tibert. So after Jim Lee ended his run on X-Men, Art took over for a few issues before Kubert took over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure who all had a hand in these pages, but I know Art did, and I think Panosian did some art assistance as well. Whether or not he touched his page, I'm not sure or not. But I remember reading this book off the stands and kind of I knew Jim Lee's run was ending with the previous issue, and then this issue came out, and I remember kind of being off put by the transition. I was such a Jim Lee fanboy.
Right.
I'm like, it's almost kind of Jim Lee-ish, but not quite. Is it art pencil, Danny?
Big shoes
Okay.
to follow right there. I mean, how do you do that? But
Yeah. But I remember going,
you bought a page when you saw it, when you had the
yeah,
opportunity.
it was nostalgia. So and I don't have any art. I didn't have any art with any Zipatone on it. So and this kind of checked the box. And all the lettering is done on the page, and it's, if you zoom in, you can see all the guidelines that were drawn to make sure the text was straight. But yeah, I just remember looking through this book and just analyzing all the artwork back in the day, and like, okay, am I good with this or not? Am I going to have to move on from X-Men? I just remember just
I'm sure
a
you were
young
not the
age
only one, Michael,
being
that was
critical.
feeling that. Right. It was I wasn't collecting at that point in time, but
Uh-huh.
I've talked to other people who that were X-Men fanatics and were disappointed when it was all over with Jim,
Yeah.
So I get it, but that just shows you the power that the artists had on
Hmm.
sales, and why you loved a particular character or whatever. And it all comes back down to narrative, visual storytelling, and the artist
Totally.
is it's why everybody, it's always a shame today. Still, the writers get more credit for these books than the artists themselves do. But we as buyers, if Terry Austin inked a book
Hmm.
in the 80s, I bought it because I loved his inking. It didn't matter who he was working over. It was
Hmm.
just stuff like that. And the creators really made my buying decisions for me. The artists, not the writers.
Yeah. 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 I'd love to get a Jim Lee page at some point, and an X-Men Silver Street page, and I have a short list of like to haves that maybe one day, once the timing's right. And,
Yeah.
and
I had Joe Manarino on from Heritage yesterday. We were looking at the current signature auction preview.
yeah.
There's a DPS in there. It might not go for super duper high money, because it's got most of, I think it's like the Reavers or something like that are in it, and
Yeah.
couple smaller, but it's a DPS. Might be
Yep.
affordable for a Jim Lee X-Men page. You
I saw
never
that.
know.
I watched that this morning. Yeah. I was like,
I know. I hear you. There's always the good thing is we're you're coming in at an interesting time, right? You've been collecting for just over a year,
right.
but there's more great art hitting the market now than there ever has been. I mean, I don't know, as a new collector, it's got to be it's just, I mean, you don't know how cool it is because back in the day, when the internet was just coming out,
Yeah.
you didn't get to see stuff like this, and
Right.
just with the sheer amount of work hitting the auction houses and private sales anymore, it's a joy to get to see so much, even if you can't afford it, just to get to see it. I mean, we saw some pretty incredible deals, collector to collector, that happened at OAX last year for
Yeah.
just marquee pedigree pieces, and just the idea that they're out there and they're still changing hands and you actually get to see it, man, is remarkable.
It is crazy.
So,
And
so this RT Bear piece with Dan
yeah.
Panosian inks is just fun.
hmm
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
There will always be a buyer for this, Michael.
I figured there would. It was yeah, to your point, I even like auction houses, trying to educate myself and see what, look at prices, right? And figure out what values are put to different artists and, characters, and just
And you can't really tell. I mean, we were, there's
yeah.
there's a lot of dealers that catch criticism for like their art prices and stuff, but and then you see a ROM page by Sal
hmm
Buscema that goes for $7,500, more than 150% over what it should have, and it makes it, you just see it's crazy. Like you can look
Yeah.
at something and say, well, why isn't this the $7,500 page? I don't care that all the rest of them sell for only 3 or 2,500,
Right.
and they're not wrong, because there might be somebody that's willing to spend that kind of money, because clearly it happens. So
Yeah.
it's just, it was a lot easier, like 15-20 years ago, before there was this fervor that we've been experiencing in the last 5 years. But it makes it challenging, and we all, as collectors, we always value our pieces probably a little bit more than the real retail is on
Sure.
something. It's because we don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
So, but that's also what drives the market.
hmm
Okay, if it's worth 4,000, but you won't sell it to me for 5,500, and I really want it, well, guess what? Now it's $5,500, and it just
Yeah.
jumped. And that's what we've been seeing repeatedly. And that's why the market is where where it is today. It's fun. It's fun
It
being,
is.
So,
Yeah. And I
so
was
we
going to
made
say
that was the last piece, wasn't it? I think
it was the last piece, and yeah, and I was going to say, just to your point with the heritage thing, just from a newcomer, right? Trying to figure out where my comfort zone is, because
Mhm.
really, just heritage is kind of, for lack of a better term, intimidating in a way, right?
I get it.
You're going, you see these large
But you
numbers
don't know when
going,
you're
and it's like,
speculating, or on something, or when you're really, you can't
yeah,
tell. But
yeah,
yeah, that's the, I understand. And I've, that one piece I've mentioned earlier is really the only piece I've bought from Heritage in 20 years. You know,
hmm
I mean, I wouldn't say it's intimidating, but it's because I always know that, and the few times I've tried winning things, they always went for like twice what I was willing to pay, or what I thought I was worth. Um, and yeah, you just have to. But the good thing is knowing what your limits are. It's like, okay, if I'm only going to spend
yeah.
300 on that, if it goes
Manage
over,
yourself.
fine.
Don't
It,
get caught up in the fervor of,
yeah,
but yeah, it's easy to do, and
Cash was offering you 50 cents for your Churchill helmet. uh, yeah, I'll tell you. I got a heritage story for you though. Before we're done, there was I had a preview for their last illustration
Mhm.
auction with Sarah Jane, and one of the pieces on there was a Hildebrandt painted piece that was from the Elfstones of Shannara book. It was one of the
Uh-huh.
interior illustrations for it, but really nice, but no characters on it. It was a just a mountainside that was in the shape of a an evil guy. But at the end of the day, uh it was like a thrill bit. I'm like, because I really love that book, and it's a
Mhm.
Hildebrandt. I don't have a painted Hildebrandt, but
Yeah.
I put the bid in knowing that I'm not going to win this. It was like at $2,500. And I even did it. We were in the green room after the show. I'm like, I'm just going to do it right now, Sarah. I'll be outbid. I'm going to, because I know somebody's bid more than me. So I put a $5,000 bid. And it only went up to like $2,600. And I'm like,
wow.
oh shit. I mean, what did I just do? And it took about 2.5 more days before like one day it finally passed. So it only went for $7,500, but I was pretty confident and I think I even told her, I'm like, oh, that's a $7,500, $8,000 piece all day. But I was sweating it because I did it just for fun, to say that I tried, and I almost ended up having to buy.
Wow.
You never know.
Yeah.
I'm a thrill bidder. That was just one of those. I felt like it, it's like, because you don't see stuff that, for me, that that's from a paperback that I read 3 times while I was in high school, because I liked the story a lot, so the image is memorable, and it's like, and like box art, right? When something that's kind of rare, so when you see something that doesn't hit the market too often, you either try or you don't. And I really wasn't trying, because I just felt like, but yeah, it's throwing a bit on something that you're like, you could end up regretting. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have regretted it. But
I've had a couple of instances on eBay like that. Like, what's my max? And I put my max. I'm like, oh, jeez, what'd I just do?
Exactly.
Just spur of the moment, like not thinking about it. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you never know. But again, so you're still new to the hobby. We can guarantee that you are going to continue, to buy more art. You will make mistakes. Stick with it, Michael. Because you're so into it now that I know that there's no backing out. But
I'm hooked. I mean, I'm trying to bring others into the hobby too, because it's fantastic. It's just, I think I mentioned to you before, it's like I still attend comic shows. I still like collecting comics, but the luster, I guess, is worn off a little bit. Like because you collect these one-of-one pieces, and then you go and like you want to buy Grail comics, and it's like, okay, I've seen it so many times before, so they kind of like that gotta have it now mentality or feeling is kind of like, there'll be another. But with the art, it's just like, buy it when you see it.
All right, and if you let it go, you may not be able to replace it. Yeah, that's so true. And I never thought about the when I was buying comics and making the switch, that it was the uniqueness of it, the one of one kind of thing. But it probably was a driving factor. I just didn't know it. Whatever emotional attachment I was getting to buying those artworks, I think that was a part of it, but it wasn't. I didn't articulate it, or I didn't feel it like that. But it's true. You are the only owner, and that's there's a special feeling.
It is. Yeah. And I was like too, buy it when you see it. It's the heroes. I had a valuable lesson there, because I would go around. I was just like shopping folios, just seeing what was available, and I would find pieces that I'm like, that's a cool piece. That's a cool price. But what's over here? So I'd make the rounds, right? I'd take a picture of what the piece was, where it was. Come back 10 minutes later, it was gone. It happened 6 times in one day.
Well, that's a lesson learned right there.
Because there's so much in the room. I'm just like, I have a budget. I want to stay within that budget. What if there's something
went
better
back to
over
look
here?
at a few to see if they were still there, and they were gone.
They were gone.
So you developed the attachment, but not enough to pull the trigger. And
it just.
But the cool thing with a show like Heroes is you have a lot of artists that are actively making comics, and whether or not that page is going to be available, they probably have others, or they'll be back next year with another stack. And
I would tell myself, I was like, okay, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It'll be here when you get back if it's meant to be. And then I go back, and it's like,
look at the Dorman purchase you made.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, so every step of the way has been a learning process, and it's been a fun ride. And I'm looking forward to see what the next year brings.
Awesome. I mean, we look forward to having you back to OAX, and you have our support with the Jacksonville show. You know, it's fun. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, it's just good to have shows like that out there. And yeah, I wasn't much of a showgoer when I lived in Ohio, but you know, I think that it's just good to have to support the local ones when you can. So it's good.
for sure. There,
As good as that.
excuse me. What's that?
So all right. Well, nothing. I was just reading the chat.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I didn't tell you that you probably didn't have your tabs on the chat, did you?
I didn't.
Oh, see, if you click the comments, you'll see that how much chatting was going on. Because you came in late, I wasn't able to tell you. So
I'll check it on the rewind.
Yeah,
but
but
I would have been distracted anyways. So
it is distracting. Yeah, whenever you see me looking side to side, I'm trying to read the chat and carry a conversation at the same time. But yeah, if you need anything, Michael, you know that we're happy to help out, and I know that you've been good to us too. You distributed some postcards for OAX, and
I
we
will
made
be
it.
preaching the gospel of OAX at Daytona this weekend.
Oh, sweet! Thank you. I
Yeah,
need to.
so
We're probably gonna end up printing some new postcard sets in the next, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks. So if you're open to me sending you a stack, I'll definitely do that.
absolutely. We like I said, OAX is a special event, and I think everybody should have awareness and the opportunity to experience the event and all that
Thank you.
pertains to it. So you guys have done fabulous work. Find CAF to be a huge value and knowledge, and just the fellow collectors that you bring on the show. Just I learned so much. Just maybe not watching live, but on the rewind, just it's great information. Yeah,
We appreciate
great
that.
community.
And Casper mentioned that your next show for FC3 is next July 11th.
12th.
Was it 12th? Is it 12th or 11th?
Am I wrong?
Well, you could be. It's late.
This year was 11th.
Because it is a one-day show, right?
It is a one-day show in Jacksonville. It's late, so I'm second guessing my.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's 11th. 11th. It is 11th.
Right.
It was okay. Yeah, it's late. Keep me in check.
The 8th, yeah. Ezra usually is good on his dates, so
yeah.
all right, man. Well, listen, I'm actually well, I probably have other work to do tonight before I can get done, but it's fun, Michael. And if you ever need anything, please hit me up. Maybe we'll get to see you at the tent, the comic book tent sale again. Yeah, like we got to run into you a few weeks back. I mean that's that guy is a mainstay around here. I'm very lucky to live so close to him.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you come down, and if you do come down, you got to let me know, because I'm 5 minutes from there. I mean, we can always you can come by. We can look at art and
very cool.
Yeah, I've got a grill right out back. We can get Kazra over here. We'll grill up some brats and hamburgers and have a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, Joe Peace. That's exactly who it is. Yeah, I'm down. Yes. And anybody that's in Orlando looking for a good restaurant recommendation, Kazra is a phenomenal source for recommendations on good eats. So
that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, Adam is at the Ocala Con in 3 weeks. Are you going to
that? Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. It's on the radar, but I don't know. I'm not setting up there, but I might make the trek down. It also has bears.
Yeah, I have. We had a bear on our front porch a couple weeks ago.
I saw that video. No, that could have been a lot more of an event.
Yeah, I was in my back patio. That was the day I was in. I went to that Orlando Animate show, and I drove home. Literally 5 minutes after it left my back patio, I walked onto the back patio, but I didn't see the bear at all. But that would have been a moment. If I ever shat my pants, that would have probably been it. Like you're just strolling into where you're so used to walking, and then all of a sudden there's a bear there. That would have been it, man.
That was a little one too.
It was, exactly. It still would have scared the hell out of me.
Jeez.
But I do I don't know if I have a show on the Saturday, like on the 20th of that, but I'll definitely plan on going on Sunday to the Akala show. So
Yeah, I
um,
might
yeah.
do
Well,
that.
if you're going, let me know. We'll try
Not
to
too
do
far of
that.
a drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
They say that Jay Lee will be there. Tim Townsend. That's right. Tim Townsend was on the list, and Chris Stevens. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'll see more the reason to go. All right. Bill
Yeah.
Shatner is probably not there, Marcus. All right. I'm calling it a night, Michael. But again,
All right.
I know we'll be talking. And please, if you do come down to any of the tent sales, please let me know. We do
I
need
will.
to
I
just
will.
arrange a meetup here at the
I'll be
place.
down that way a couple of times before the end of the year, so I'll be
Okay.
sure to reach out.
Well,
And
we got a couple other collectors in the area too. There's a guy down in Mount Dora, and I actually shipped a piece of art to a collector who I've known for a while, who's in the Villages. I had no idea he lived that close. I should have just delivered it to him. So yeah, maybe we can get we'll do an art meetup or something. That'd be great.
That'd be
Okay,
awesome.
cool.
Well, thanks for having me, and I apologize for my lateness.
Now that I know it was, we can blame it on art. I
Art
got no problems
related.
with that.
I got in the zone, and time started ticking, and it was like a time where I get really. I make labels for the pages with details and where. Yeah.
When you told me you were writing up some notes for the art, that's why I was like, hold it, man. I don't want to read anything. I like looking at the art and talking. So, but no, that's cool. I mean, every you can approach this hobby in whatever angle you want in it. I think, and 'cause there's guys that write long descriptions when they post art, and there's other guys that don't even tell you what the size of it is. Don't even write a word in their descriptions.
See, I shouldn't have clicked on the chat.
Now
That's
you're
why
watching the chat, right?
the Villages jokes are.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
says
that's great.
Whatever plushy toy or whatever's off of their antennas.
What color loofah do you hang on your rearview mirror when you
Exactly.
drive through?
Yeah, it's an interesting place. It's I like 20 years ago I called it Disneyland for adults, but it's so much more than that. It's
It
so much more
is.
than that.
It is.
Oh
Wow.
boy. All right. Thanks everybody for
Awesome.
hanging out with us this evening. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, we'll be back at it again tomorrow. And don't forget, we did have that show drop at 3:00 earlier today. Matt DiTullio doing an interview, and it was recorded and posted at 3. And you should check it out. I can't remember the gentleman's name that was interviewed on it at the moment, but there was pretty cool art. You get to see first Carnage art by Bagley was one of the pieces in there. So if you're a Bagley fan, definitely check that out. All right, Michael.
I appreciate
Have a
it.
good night.
Thanks everybody for all the kind words in the comments.
Have a good night.
We'll
See ya.